Hello everyone, welcome to Starry Flowers, and also welcome to Pride Month. I'm gonna do something special this year. Every day of the month of June, I shall be uploading a video on a different game, mostly. So none of my usual series will come out for this month, but that's mostly just because I want to mostly play a bunch of indie games. I'm playing the first 7 days early, because if I don't start now in May, I will forget, and then you won't get any uploads for the next year. But I am officially a graduate of high school, which is a yay. My graduation officially is next week, but we're done with classes. So I'm gonna have a lot more time this summer to work on these videos. Who knows, maybe if I blow up over the summer because of these daily uploads this month, you'll get more. But we recently played Astra's Garden. Please get that video up before this one. Please, honey, please, don't be stupid. So we're going to play this. This is supposed to be somewhat short. It's by Nom Nom Nami, and I know that one of the characters is the main character from one of the characters you interacted with from Astra's. So let's just begin. I don't remember much. I kind of downloaded this last night and then I forgot to actually look into it. But let's just get right into it. Hey, Editor Honey here. There is a content warning for this game, that there is a lot of sexual implications in this video. Nothing is ever shown on screen, but it's heavily alluded to, especially in the beginning. If you are not comfortable with that type of joke, or you just aren't comfortable with that in general, please leave, and I'll see you tomorrow. Now for everyone who is still here, enjoy the show. Periwinkle! Aww. Hello, and welcome to the deliciously romantic tale of my first love. There's just one more thing before we begin. I grant you the power to choose my accessories at various points in the story. I'm being very gracious to offer such a thing, you know. If you use it, you had better make me look as adorable as possible. This little feature has no effect on the story. It's simply for your entertainment should you wish to enjoy for it. Would you like to enable the dress-up feature? Yes. Then, without further ado, let's get ready for my first date with Pastille. Oh, these are actually cute. Oh, we gotta go with the fairy wings. Angel halo, demon horns. I think I want the flower crown with the fairy wings. Yeah, fairy wings. Yay. First date. Today, I met a boy at a candy shop. The moment I saw him, I just knew I couldn't leave without flirting a little. He was so delightfully flustered, which of course only made him that much cuter. When I told him to meet me here, he could only manage to nod in response. So cute. Oh, my favorite type to pursue. There he is now. Oh, he's adorable. Hey, I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long. Pastille, look at you. And here I thought you looked plenty good in that uniform. My heart was unprepared. Sorry, is it too much? I can change. I haven't fully seen what's under that cloak of yours. It'd be such a waste to change prematurely. Right. Forget it then. Besides, it'll be my pleasure to Why am I cringing? I read worse out loud. It'd be my pleasure to unwrap you later on, my sweet. Now shall we head to dinner? Okay. Lead the way. I truly did not expect it. He definitely seemed like the type to have more of a modest sense of style. Thigh highs with such a short skirt, or was it a dress? I only briefly glimpsed it. I'm quite looking forward to seeing more tonight. Damn, first date? The restaurant I had decided on is one of my usual rotation. Good for a quiet, comfortable evening. For a variety of dates, you must have a variety of locations in mind. Tonight's mood is romantic rendezvous. It's a little high end though, though not overtly so. Just enough to make the night feel special. Pastille slides into the booth, following Periwinkle's lead. One hand holds his mantle in place, while the other brushes his bangs aside anxiously. Is this your first time? Huh? Coming here, I mean. What did you think I was asking? No, nothing. I've never been here before. It seems fancy. I'm a fan of the atmosphere. The food isn't bad either. Now, let's get the first few formalities out of the way. Shall we? First and foremost, your pronouns. Oh, I just use he, him. What about you? The same. Same. Although I don't necessarily mind being called by others, especially considering my presentation. Understandable. Next, expectations. I consider clarity in regard to be a key part of ensuring we both enjoy ourselves to the fullest. I need to... Sorry, I have a stutter. It comes and goes. I do this sort of thing often, you see. I have a couple of ground rules to establish. Sure, I'm actually glad you brought it up. Oh? I'm not looking for anything serious. In fact, I kind of prefer when it's just a one-night fling. We're on the very same page then. It's not that I mind if, we end up wanting to do this thing again some other time. That's quite likely for me in this case. Certainly, I'm open to that as well. Did you have any other ground rules? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Are you nervous? Yeah. Yes. You can tell me to stop whenever you're feeling too overwhelmed. That's the other rule. I like feeling overwhelmed to an extent. If I had to assume as much, glad you admitted outright. Pastille. Is it pastille or pastille? I don't think it actually has it stated. Whoops. Okay, let's just return. In that case, I'll do my best to overwhelm you, my sweet. Yes, this was shaping off to be a wonderful night indeed. The waiter came to take our order. I went first to give my sweet date a chance to compose himself. With our food ordered, Pastille finally drops his mantle to reveal... Oh my. So it was a cute dress after all. Oh, and here I thought you were saving the surprise for after dinner. Sorry, I started feeling awkward with the extra layer. Don't apologize, my only layman is not getting to take it off me myself. I'm sorry, guys, I'm not used to bold people. And I'm known for hitting on my friends, so... you and me both, why do they both have to start with P? You and me both, Pastille? You'll save the last few layers for me, won't you? That's all that matters then. I'm having the time of my life, and by the looks of it, so is Pastille. I live to tease cute witch boys. How fortunate I came across one of the sweetest today. Our food arrives before Pastille is able to recover. Can't even look the waiter in the eye. How adorable! No, I mustn't overindulge before we're even eaten our meal. There'll be plenty of time after dessert. Pastille takes a few bites of his food before speaking up. So, Periwinkle, what do you do for a living? Besides tease you until you're barely able to speak? Yes, besides that. My line of work... I suppose I can tell you. I'm an arrow magician. I specialize in creating pleasant scents. Periwinkle tugs his wand from his sleeves and lightly taps the candle on the table. In a small burst, the atmosphere shifts around the pair. The candle's original aroma is quickly forgotten by something new and cozier. Oh, that is nice. What smell is that? I'm no good at pinpointing stuff like this. Vanilla. I thought it suited you, although I'm starting to think a more lustful scent might have been a better fit. What does that even mean? What? Oh, this is cute. This is something great to open Pride Month with. Just that you've done nothing but exceed my expectations. I'm not even doing anything. Pastille retreats behind his glass of water, overwhelmed by embarrassment once again. I did say I'd go a little easier on him, didn't I? But he's too irresistible. Anywho, I bottle and sell scents like this one. It's fairly lucrative work once you build a reputation for yourself. It sounds fulfilling. What about you, Pastille? What kind of magic do you specialize in? Oh, I had been mostly living without magic until recently. Without magic? I can't imagine. It's not so bad. I mean, humans do it, so why not? I suppose that's true. I very directly make a living off of mine, so I've found myself in quite a bind if I wasn't able to use it. Not that I don't mind being bound from time to time, you know. How do you keep doing that every time I think we're talking about something innocent? Oh, I just can't help myself, can I? Deliberate word choice, my sweet. Would you like me to hold back a little more? No, it's okay. I just kind of impressed. We finished off our meals and decided on sharing a slice of strawberry cheesecake for dessert. Pastille deliberately leaves in the larger bits of strawberries for me. I wonder, is it because he doesn't like it, or is he just that kind? Either way, this has quickly become my most favorite date in the past few months. Tell me more about yourself, Pastille. I'm afraid the only thing I know is that you work at the renowned 8-liner Sweets. I really need to... I'm gonna work on 8-liner. Or Attaliner Sweets. There's not much else to know. Surely there's plenty more than just that. Any hobbies, perhaps? Cleaning, maybe? Any non-work-related hobbies, dear? Sorry, I never know how to answer these type of questions. My best friend is an alchemist, so I've been going on little adventures to help gather ingredients for her craft. Now there's something interesting. Other than that, I don't get out much. I have my hands full running the store. So diligent. Does that mean this is your first night out in a while? Yeah, I guess it is. I'm honored you were willing to share it with me then. Yeah, I don't think I would have ever tried this place if you hadn't brought me in. So it's been worth it so far. Thanks, Periwinkle. The table had long been cleared, and yet our conversation continued through that night. This place is never too busy, which always leaves me free to linger here without guilt of taking up any much-needed table space. The longer the date, the more satisfying the finale. This fucker's smooth. Are we sure this is the same aim-depressed little shit we saw at the beginning? We saw in Astra's? I mean, fair. That's something I'd like to live by. Rushing straight out to the climax. Eventually gets a bit dull after a while. I want to enjoy this night to its fullest. Pastille, do you see the witch at the table over there? Don't be too obvious now. The witch in the tall hat. You see? Yeah, I see them. I brought them here about 2 weeks ago. I guess they agreed it makes a nice date spot. The guy sitting across from them. I think I've been with them before. No! Surely you're joking, Pastille. Shh, don't say my name so loudly. Just keep your head low. I'm sure he won't notice. Oh, he just looked this way. Only kidding. Perry. Oh, a nickname already? We're moving so fast. You're the one who's been calling me my sweet all night. Well, you are, aren't you? Whose fault is it that you share a name with candy? Pastille is a type of candy? Not mine! Still, do you think those two make a good couple? How should I know? Just imagine the kind of person I'd go out with, date with and pair them with the other. And what kind of person is that? You, for one. Maybe they wouldn't be so good together. Am I supposed to take offense to that? Nah, that guy was just kind of pushy. You're too much, Pastille. We eventually made our way out of the restaurant that night. It had gotten late already. When's the last time I stayed until closing? There had never been a moment of awkward silence between us. Only Pastille's clear, embarrassed pauses. Only Pastille's embarrassed pauses, clear attempts to steer his mind away from debauchery. As we wander back into the night air, he's the first to speak up again. You could have at least let me cover the tip. Nonsense. I'm the one who asked you out tonight. You don't have to cover a thing. In fact, I'd prefer if you didn't cover. Okay, I saw that one coming this time. You don't have to say it. Too easy? But really, it's a shame to hide such a cute outfit from the world. I don't have the confidence. Reminds me of my youth. You'll get there, my sweet. One day, you'll be able to toss aside any feelings of Honestly, at this point, I might as well just start a freaking compilation of just me stuttering. And post it at the end of June of how many times I stuttered while recording these videos. It's inadequacy. I know the word. I know the fucking word. One sec.
Inadequacy.
Inadequacy. And be able to wear all sorts of daring outfits with pride. No, it's not a matter of self-esteem or anything. It's just, if anyone I know saw me in this, I would die. So that's how it is, I'm being treated to a more intimate side of this witch boy right now. We walk together under the streetlights until we reach our original meeting place. Would you like me to escort you home? No, that's okay. Then, if you don't mind, my place is just down the street. Perhaps you'd like to accompany me? Yes. I wouldn't want you to have to walk alone in the dark. Such a gentleman. Periwinkle expertly slides his hand up in under Pastille's mantle, linking arms as they go along. They walk in comfortable silence towards Periwinkle's house. Well, this is me. I had the most lovely evening. Thank you for accompanying me to dinner tonight. I had fun too. Thanks for inviting me out. Pastille fidgets as he has something else to ask, but can't find the words. Pastille. Periwinkle steps closer. Yes? He leans in, pausing for any sort of reaction. Only for Pastille's lips to come clumsily crashing forward. He's in more of a rush than I thought. Then again, I did spend all night winding him up. So cute! Pastille, I just remembered. Since we're here, would you like to come in and sample some of my magic? I like that, yes. Very well then. We both knew from the beginning that he would be staying the night, of course. It's just so much more fun drawing it out like this. But if that kiss is any indication of things to come, I may have gone a little overboard tonight. If so, we're in for a sleepover. Sorry about the mess. I haven't found the time to tidy up. The door closes loudly behind them. When Pastille doesn't respond, Periwinkle turns back to face him. That face, so cute. Aww. Excuse me, I'm looking something up about starry flowers. I think they're older than me, but I can't remember. Oh, they're 26? Pastile's back is against the door as he fumbles to untie his mantle. He's completely run out of patience, hasn't he? Well, I'm afraid I have no choice but to indulge him. Oh. I'm glad I don't have monetization. I'm joking, of course. There's not going to be anything like that, but this is probably as smexy as it's going to get. I should keep you waiting a second longer. Now, I shouldn't keep you waiting a second longer now, should I? But I still need to change into something more, a little easier to take off. Looking this good comes at a price, you see. I promise I won't keep you waiting. Okay. Periwinkle gives him another peck on the lips and leads him through the cluttered living room into his bedroom door. Nice. Chapter 2, Conjured Fragrance. It took me ages to get out of bed that morning. After all, I just couldn't continue thinking about how absolutely adorable Pastille was. He scrambled out of here almost as soon as he woke up, saying he couldn't be late for work. Such a shame. Would have been nice to get one last round in. I did get a kiss goodbye, though. It's so nice to feel like a housewife for a moment. But I should get to work, too. I have an order to fill, don't I? Periwinkle finally rolls out of bed and gets ready for the day. The order in question is for a nearby apothecary. Did you know? Arrow magic like mine is actually quite good for you. It's got nothing on actual healing magic, but the calming atmosphere does create wonders for one's mood. This particular batch is meant to help with insomnia, which is ironic considering how late I stayed up with Pastille. Whoops, can't get distracted now. I really need to finish up these last 2 bottles. Periwinkle closes his eyes and draws his wand. Large drops form at its tip, falling into an empty bottle one by one. With each drip, the bottle's contents swell, and after only the 5th drop, it's completely filled. Perfect. It's so much easier to finish these with a clear mind. I can't help it if a refreshing night out is the only way I can regain my focus. Although I probably could have gotten one of these done last night if still hadn't been so impatient. No, I mustn't let my mind wander too far from work now. Periwinkle fills the remaining bottles, screwing the lids on as he goes. There. Now my house is going to smell like lavender. I better head out before I'm lulled to sleep on my own magic. Okay, so we're going to see Astra. So I'm gonna say we go with the demon horns, or let's do with the angel halo, and then we go with the sparkles. I'm actually enjoying that cute little part because it's kind of cute. The apothecary is only a short walk away, but I've never managed to walk in its doors on time. Perhaps it's so close, I always underestimate the time it takes to reach. I can hear the owner tapping her foot in impatience as soon as I open the door. Astrologus, I have that special order ready for you. You're late again, Periwinkle. Lost track of time. You'll forgive me, won't you? You're literally my only provider who has no respect for appointments. That's simply not true. I never miss a date. There's the problem. You were out getting laid again, weren't you? How vulgar. I had a romantic evening with a very cute boy who ended up sleeping over. Well, you had all week to fill the order. Try getting it done in advance next time. Yes, ma'am. Now let's see what you brought. I worked with I love her name. It's very beautiful. It fucks up my stutter, though. I'm sorry, guys. I still have to call her Astra, because otherwise, this bitch is going to be a stuttering mess for the next 10 minutes. Now I've worked with Astra for a few years now. She's completely immune to my charms. Shocking, to say the least. But it's meant we've been able to remain good friends all this time. Or, let's see. Astra, would you consider us to be good friends? I put up with you. My, but you don't put up with anyone. You must really like me. You got a favor or something? Is that what you're getting at? No, I was just thinking of how to categorize our relationship. Business associate works just fine, doesn't it? Come now. Surely you consider us to be closer than that. I know better than to get involved with you, Periwinkle. Why, whatever do you mean? You're too dazzling. I take that as a compliment. Great, now you stop distracting me. I'm trying to count. Yes, we're definitely good friends. Too dazzling, though. I'm not sure if that is such a thing. And what would be wrong if there was? What point is there in not shining as brightly as one can? Astra finished counting the bottles, sighing in a feigned exasperation as she marks them off on her checklist. You may always be late, but you deliver quality every time. You're consistent if nothing else. The waiting part is the fun. Part of the fun. It builds excitement, wouldn't you say? Nope, just builds frustration for me. But at least you always come through. She unlocks a small drawer behind the counter and takes out an envelope with Periwinkle's name scribbled on it. Scrimblow! I'm sorry. Here's the rest of your payment. Don't spend it all in one place. Oh, I couldn't if I tried. Really, you're too generous. Astra rolled her eyes and begins stocking the shelves of her new inventory. 2 or 3 orders a month. That's all it takes to support myself entirely through this apothecary. Hard to believe my magic is really worth that much, but who am I to complain? It's certainly more favorable balance than to the kind of work I was doing years ago. And I do enjoy the freedom, the excessive amounts of time I have for partying, for dates. Oh, and on that note, with all the business out of the way, would you like to hear about my date? Would I like to? Not necessarily. Please, Astra, on someone and with no romance in your own life, at least you could do is live vicariously through me. The no romance thing is by choice. I listen to you gush for your own damn sake. For my sake? Yeah, I'm afraid you might actually implode if you had no one else to talk to about this stuff. I'm actually making a noble sacrifice every day you come in here with new tales of a romantic conquest. If you're truly suffering, I shall desist. That's the thing, though. I do like seeing you all worked up over something, even if I don't understand it myself. Ah, so there is a mutual benefit. You listen, then. You'll listen, then? Yeah, at least at least until I get all this put away. After that, I'm kicking you out for the day. Fair enough. I'd better be brief, then. He's the absolute cutest thing. I picked him up at a candy shop yesterday. Fluffy pink hair with golden eyes, naturally rosy cheeks that make him look like he's always a little embarrassed by something. He's shy, but not the type that becomes paralyzed in the bedroom. Periwinkle, for the last time, I do not need to hear about the bedroom stuff. I'm sorry. I have a thing of getting really excited about reading stuff. I wasn't giving any details, although the details are the best part. This is safe for work zone only. Break that rule and you're out of here. My apologies. I'll refrain. Anyway, my point is he's extremely cute. Adorable, in fact. Alright, so standard fare for you. Absolutely not. If he was your average cutie, would I be emphasizing his cuteness so much? I don't meet these people after all, so it's all the same to me. How could it be? Their intensity is so drastically different. Perhaps so intense I'm having trouble explaining it properly. I'll say, all you've really told me so far is that he's cute and shy. He's kind as well. He saved the best part of our dessert without me ever asking. Wow, I would have led with that one. Oh, enough of your sarcasm. My favorite details are off limit. What do you suppose I'm left with? Well, what really matters is if you had a good night. Even if it meant you couldn't get here on time like I asked. I'm already hoping to see him again, if I'm honest. Yeah? Oh yeah. Don't hear that from you very often. Really? But I've gone second dates all the time. This guy got a name? I don't kiss and tell. No, actually, you tell me about everyone you kiss. Come on, if he's absolute cutest, it's a shame to keep him anonymous, right? Not like I'm gonna tell anyone anyway. Fine, his name is Pastel. Even his name's cute. Right? Oh, that reminds me, he sold me some candies that share his name. Would you like to try? Sure, how can a witch turn down free candy? Periwinkle digs into the bag and pulls out the pastilles. He hands the candy to Astra, who promptly unwraps it and pops it in her mouth. Wow, these are good. Where'd you say this candy shop was? Not far from here. I'll give you the directions. Shortly after telling Astra where to find Atelier, I'm probably going to end up looking up how to pronounce that right. Atelier Sweets, she unceremoniously kicked me out. She had long finished putting those bottles away after all. With money in my pocket and no more work to be done for the moment, I'm free to begin pursuing my next date. But wherever should I go? It's a weekday too. Early for parties, too early for parties, too early for drinks. I suppose I could return home and straighten up the place. However, why should I busy myself with chores when I could be celebrating another order successfully filled? Before Periwinkle can decide, a familiar witch approaches him. Periwinkle? Oh, Cassia! So lovely to see you. Yay, I'm glad we ran into each other. How to describe Cassia? She's exceedingly cuddly. We met at a party one night, during which she latched onto my arm and never let go. Quite endearing. Since then, we've gone on little dates from time to time. She really loves my magic, so I tend to spoil her when we're together. Did you need something, dear? Yes. I tried coming over last night, but you didn't seem to be home. Aw, you came to visit me? I'm flattered. I must have been out to dinner at the time. Sorry that I missed you. Oh, it's okay. I was mostly looking to talk. So, if you're available right now, do you want to go to a cafe? That sounds perfect. I would love to. We take our seats to a nearby cafe. It's a pleasant, sunny little place. I come here often with all sorts of other witches. Cassia orders her usual hot chocolate with extra marshmallows, while I decide on a simple rose tea. Oh, Periwinkle, can you make my marshmallows smell like roses too? With pleasure. Periwinkle's wand drops from his sleeve, and he gives Cassia's cup a quick little tap. Yay, it smells just like roses. Just like you asked, my dear. It might slightly affect the taste, so let me know if you would like the spell undone. Cassia dips her spoon in and lifts a marshmallow up to her lips, blowing on it lightly before popping it in her mouth. No, it's wonderful. She can truly find joy in any little moment. Such a delight. Definitely a contender for the title of absolute cutest witch, though I would call her absolutely cute rather than the absolute cutest. It takes more than cuteness alone to earn the title of absolute cutest witch. That's where the difference lies, of course. But what am I thinking? How rude it is to begin ranking my dates in such a way. I must be stuck on the thought from my earlier conversation with Astra, trying to put Pastile's cuteness into words. He really is something special. It's all in the contrast. His polite, well-mannered, and proper exterior concealing such an intense desire, begging you to make the first move, and then going ahead and taking it on as his own as soon as you... Enough of that. There's someone else in front of me now, isn't there? Cassia continues happily sipping her hot chocolate before speaking up again. I missed you, Periwinkle. I've been so busy with packing, I haven't had the chance to see you at all. Packing? Packing? And just where are you heading off to? Oh, that's right. I never had the chance to tell you. I'm finally moving in with my partners. In just 2 more days, the 3 of us will all be sleeping in the same bed. Oh, that sounds cozy. Congrats. Thank you. I've been looking forward to it for so long. Sounds like you're about to enter a lovely domestic life. You deserve it. Thank you. I'm really happy. But speaking of my partners, you've still never even met them. True, but I can imagine they're wonderful, just from how you've talked about them. Right, but what if you didn't have to imagine? That's what I was hoping to talk to you about. I was hoping we might be able to go on a group date sometime. Oh? Yeah, because, I think you're so wonderful, Periwinkle. I want you to know them too. Although it sounds like fun, I'm a bit... Wait, before you say no. They're both extremely easygoing and loving and nice. I promise it won't be overwhelming. That, unfortunately, isn't where the issue lies, my dear. I know. I said you didn't want to get involved before. I just know that we would get along so well. I'd like to reassure you however I can, but I understand if you still turn me down. Matters of love are tricky, aren't they? I still recall the first time something like this was asked of me. I had been nervous going in, but I had never entered a group situation before. I attributed my anxiety slowly to that. However, it quickly became clear that I just wasn't suited to it at all. I do spoil each of my partners, but strictly one at a time. Perhaps I was left scarred by the beatdown in communication, the passionate fires of a long-established romance. Surely Cassia and her partners are magnificent people, and it might be indeed fun for a night, but becoming entangled in a committed relationship is something I've avoided from the beginning, isn't it? This is all very sweet of you, but I have to decline. Aw, I can't help but feel a little brokenhearted. I apologize. Truly, it's nothing personal. Oh, I know. I don't take offense or anything. It's just sad knowing I'm going to be living with them, and knowing you don't want to meet them. I think it's best we just break things off. Yes, I agree. As you said, it's for the best. I hope we can still be friends, though. Of course. I'm sure our paths will cross again every now and then. Yeah, of course. Thank you for... Yeah, Thank you for always treating me so well, Periwinkle. It was my pleasure. Even casual relationships can end in breakups like this. This is largely why I prefer one-night affairs. Things can become so messy as things need to evolve. As Cassia and I go our separate ways, I can't help but feeling a little blue. Perhaps I'll return home for the day after all. Periwinkle quickly changes into something more comfortable, dropping in his bag unceremoniously onto the couch. I could use an afternoon nap. Yes, that's precisely what I need. I'll wake up, feeling refreshed and ready to go back on the town. He shoves blankets aside and collapses onto the couch, and when he does, the contents of his bag spill onto the floor. Lazily leaning over to gather it up, he notices the candies from before. Was I too hasty in saying I hope to see Pastel again? I suppose I'd forgotten the feeling of not being enough for someone. Usually these things tend to dissipate naturally without confrontation or notice, so when they don't, it stinks. Periwinkle oops up the candies, dropping all but one of them back into his bag. He settles into place on the couch, nestled in a tangled mess of blankets and cushions, and unwraps his chosen pastel. It is sweet, though. What a shame it would be if I never got to taste it again. That's right, I could never resist the promise of an entertaining night, no matter what may come down on the line. I'm a hopeless hedonist, after all. Nothing to be done about that. Let fate decide, then. If he comes, he comes. And if we never meet again, I can always hold on to the memory of our perfect date. Oh, whoops. I didn't know I could go back by scrolling. Several hours later, there's a knock at the door. And right there on his doorstep, Periwinkle is pleasantly surprised to find Pastille? I wasn't expecting to see you again so soon. And treating me to another cute look too, no less. Sorry, I couldn't stop thinking about... I realized last night I never actually got to sample your magic, the scents you mentioned. Oh, that's right. We were quite preoccupied, Yes, so that's why I'm here. He finally manages to make eye contact, but quickly averts his gaze once more. Were you in bed? Sorry, I shouldn't have come so late. These aren't even my sexiest pajamas. I didn't say anything about that. But to answer your question, no, I wasn't. Although I did take a nap earlier this afternoon, I've otherwise been enjoying a relaxing night in. And I'm very glad I didn't miss out. I didn't end up going out. I would have missed out on this flustered mess. Would you like to come in? Pastel nods vigorously in response. Yeah, please. I do. Cute boy. He's cute. He really is. Ren, if you're watching this, I know you probably like this guy a lot. Because of a very strange resemblance to you-know-who. Future me, you can put a photo of them literally right next to each other. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The only difference is that is the eye color, honestly. It's still a bit of mess in here. I hope you don't mind. There's a path, though. I've seen worse. Oh, perhaps I'll let it spiral further into chaos. I'm just so competitive, you know. I'm not sure that's a that's a competition you really want to win. Perhaps not. Periwinkle carefully steps over some of the clutter to dig through one of the boxes in the far corner of the room. Ah, here they are. My personal favorites. This row here contains some of the more potent scents. Most of these are for relaxation, things to calm the nerves. The rest I just so happen to write. To like sweet scents like strawberry, banana, bubblegum, mango. Is there a reason you're only naming candy flavors? Must be a coincidence. Pastel picks out an unlabeled bottle filled with a pale pink liquid. What's this? Watch out. That one's an aphrodisiac. We'll see about that. Pastel locks. Oh, no. Not the aphrodisiac. Pastel locks eyes with Periwinkle as he opens the vial without hesitation. How bold. Oh, it's peach. I almost expected it to be overpowering. Yes. Well, the aphrodisiac bit was a lie, but I'm glad you were like it. You're really good with this type of magic. I've never done anything like it. Would you like to try it on? Oh no, I don't do perfume or cologne or anything like that. You never tried it? Oh, so would you say you're a perfume virgin then? I'm not. Who even says things like that? I'm just. It's so cute. I'm sorry. In my line of work, you'd be surprised. It's probably just you. Maybe so. But if you're not gonna try it, I'll have it back now, please. I could try. I just know how I'm supposed to apply it. May I? Pastel nods, handing over the small vial. Periwinkle seals the opening with his fingertips and tilts the bottle over and back. Here. He lightly rubs a spot on Pastel's neck, engulfing them both in the present scent of his magic. Their eyes move, neither of them daring to be the first to make the move. Maybe the aphrodisiac bit wasn't a lie after all? Pastel breaks the spell, rushing forward with a sudden kiss, and then retreats just as quickly. Sorry, he certainly is impulsive. Not that I mind that after all. I'm more than happy to go along with your little game, Pastel. Oh no, my own magic is working too well. I guess there's no choice but have my way with you, my sweet. Oh no. Pastel's half-hearted protests end there. It's weird reading this out. But you know the feeling when you read a fluff fanfic and then you just start kicking the air excitedly because you're like, oh my god, this is so fluffy. But that's what's happening right now. Periwinkle's hands were already upon him and would continue to be for the rest of the night. Are we sure these two? Chapter 3, Missteps. Oh no. Miscommunication, my worst enemy. Over the next month or so, we fell into quite the enjoyable pattern. Pastel would show up on my doorstep, maybe once or twice a week. Sometimes we'd go out to dinner, but mostly he'd just spend the night. It was starting to become almost routine, though each visit was somehow just as exciting as the last. The details of which I'll choose to remain private for Pastel's sake. That boy is insatiable, I will say that. Inevitably, after seeing someone for so long enough, one begins to pick up on their habits, Cute habits, like the way he kisses me on the cheek before rushing off to work early in the morning, the way he runs his hair through his hand through his hair when he's thinking about something really hard. Even his knock is specific. Once, lightly to test the waters, a pause as he gathers courage, and then 3 firm and evenly spaced. I'm not sure which of these habits he's conscious of, but there's one I've decided he must be acting knowingly, which is his habit of leaving one of his personal effects behind with each visit. First, a beret, then an earring, his choker, a bracelet, and then he returns a few days after with an apologies, explaining he came back to pick on whatever he left behind. Sure, Pastille, keep creating your own excuses to come back here. I'll happily go along with them. What fun. I wonder what he'll come looking for this time. Periwinkle gathers his discarded garments he had left strewn across the room, tossing them into a pile to be dealt with later. He couldn't possibly leave his underwear behind, could he? No, that would be impossible to explain. An earring, sure, but there's no way he'd walk out of here like that. Periwinkle hums to himself as he makes the bed, double-checking between the sheets while he's at it. I'm almost disappointed. It's been so consistent up to now, I suppose he could just be that forgetful. Unable to find anything of Pastille's in my bedroom, I decided to spend the rest of my morning in cleaning up the place. Now, mind you, I never let my house get dirty, only messy. Letting garbage or food waste about is out of the question. Everything else, though, it's simply that many things don't make it back to the proper place, or rather, I can never decide on a proper place for many of my things. Toss them into boxes, shuffle the boxes around the room, and suddenly they become unmanageable piles. Put everything away, these would all have to be emptied and sorted. A daunting task, to be sure, but it has been a while since my last attempt, so I might as well put some effort. But where to begin? I suppose my work supplies have been a little difficult to manage as a weight. That's an achievable goal now, isn't it? And practical as well. Periwinkle begins with a box of his favorite perfumes that had been sitting out since one of Pastille's first visits. Ah, yes, the aphrodisiac. That was a fun night. He packs the bottles back into their places and closes the box, sealing them safely inside. This should go, Perhaps it's better to be set it high on the bookshelf? If I rearrange things a bit, there should be room for everything. As Periwinkle begins to set things aside, a new pile is born, precariously teetering on the back of the couch. He places the box just where he wants it, and then stacks his books and knickknacks around it. Just as he made his way through half of the pile, a small portion of it topples, bouncing safely onto the couch cushions. Ha! Tapple all you want, I was prepared. He notices Pastille's jacket, which had been expertly blended into the blankets and cushions around it. Just when I finally worked up the energy to clean around here, what do I find? Yes, this is no mere case of forgetfulness. It was indeed a game all along. Periwinkle giddily laughs to himself, excited to be proven right. You've escalated it too far, Pastille. To leave your jacket behind is just ridiculous. You leave me no choice. I just have to return this myself. Periwinkle abandons what he was doing and skips off to his room to get dressed. Oh, that's cute. You can actually see the choker, so I'm going to go with the flower choker. And let's do the white ribbons. It matches the dress, the outfit. I hadn't the chance to return to Adelaire Suite since the first meeting of Pastille. He was the one always showing up on my doorstep, after all. There was no need. It was about time I paid him a visit, yes? I could restock my favorite candies as well. Upon reaching Adelaire Suites, though, I hesitate. Would it be rude to barge in while he's working? I just know I wouldn't be able to resist teasing him. As to not become a nuisance, I shall make my presence known from here. Periwinkle boldly approaches the bench directly in front of the candy shop and sits down, all while wearing Pastille's forgotten jacket. And now we wait. A few minutes pass. I can see Pastille through the shop window while he's currently preoccupied with a customer. Luckily, I brought a lunch, a simple peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Will he notice me before I finish it? The customer is walking out now. Our eyes met. Pastille looks away, pacing a little. I take another bite of my sandwich, still watching intently. He stops for a moment, and the front door is behind the register. In front of the door, behind the register, until finally making his way out with the store, broom in hand. But instead of coming over right away, he turns his back to me, sweeping the sidewalk in front of the entrance. Perhaps he has a strict supervisor? He keeps glancing over his shoulder. Just come over here, you silly boy. His face is quite red, so I can say with confidence I've successfully overwhelmed him once again. I finished my sandwich by the time he approaches. He takes a seat on the opposite side of the bench. I thought you were ignoring me. No, I was just deciding what to do. Was it a bad time to return your jacket? Not the worst time. Periwinkle unzips the jacket and shuffles out of it, casually folding it onto his lap. I found it while I was cleaning up the place. I suppose I could have waited for you to return, but since I was in the area... Right, it's my fault for leaving it behind in the first place. Pastille can barely look me in the eye. It doesn't stop him from stealing glances at what I'm wearing. But who can resist that? I wore my cutest dress for this. Something seems a little off, though. He's usually a bundle of nerves, yes, but this is a bit much. I'll get right to the point, then. Oh, Pastille, you don't have to plant excuses to visit me. I wasn't planting anything. I was just forgetting on my way out. I find that hard to believe. Considering you've forgotten exactly one thing each time you visit. Really, you should be more honest. Sorry. Thank you for returning it. Oh, it's my pleasure. It gave me a good excuse to come see your flustered little face again. Periwinkle sets the jacket on the empty space between them and rises to take his leave. But Pastille grabs his wrist before he goes. Perry, I'm sorry I made you think I was annoying you. I was only teasing, my sweet. Still, I'm not ready to be open about who I see outside of work. I like to keep things very discreet. I don't want to explain anything to my friends. I die of embarrassment, so that's why. Understood. I'm actually used to being someone's little secret. That didn't sound quite right. What I'm trying to say is I don't mind at all. From now on, I'll continue just letting you come to me. Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't know why you keep apologizing for, Pastille. I'll see you around. Again, yes? Pastille nods and finally lets go of his wrist. A misstep. A huge misstep. I should have guessed it from the hints he'd given. Just a few things he said here and there. It was enough to put it together, wasn't it? The most obvious one being that he always comes to me and not the other way around. A comfortable pattern that I recklessly interrupt. I should have known from previous encounters with closeted... What's supposed to be a fun surprise appearance can turn so quickly into a desperate rally to cling to normalcy. Carefully constructed lies to conceal the piece of yourself that may not be accepted, whether it's by the individual themselves or by their loved ones. Carefully, an unenviable position to find oneself in. Pastille and I had been seeing a lot of each other during the past month. Was this the inevitable breaking point then? It could only become more complicated from here. But it was going so perfectly for so long. Perhaps I'm being overdramatic. I've grown tired of him at all, which is precisely the problem. Unwilling to return home so soon, I walk in the direction of the apothecary. Astra will be able to knock some sense into me. She always does. Astra, are you busy? Ugh. I know that you whine, but you shift into dramatic bitch mode. Take pity on me, I'm having a bad day. Alright, you baby. Tell me what happened. Things are slow today anyhow. Astra listened to patiently as I explained the events of the day. I've learned to come straight to her whenever I find myself unable to make a decision. Although she often puts things too bluntly, I do always end up feeling more grounded after her conclusion. So, you're upset because you overstepped his bounds. Accidentally, you always leave out the key information, and now you think it's over between you two. When you put it like that, I do sound dramatic. I mean, you are, but you have a point. If you want to avoid things like getting complicated, this is your sign to get out. I do say, though, for two guys who aren't in a committed relationship, you do sound like you're in one. It's purely casual. I've still been seeing a few others in the midst of this. But all you talk about is pastel every time you come in here. Ugh, I know. I just wish I hadn't gone to return the jacket. It was supposed to be fun, but now, yeah. Honestly, I think he's being unfair. He gets to show up to your place whenever he wants, right? Yes. But I don't have anything else going on. He has a respectable job and... Sounds like you just have less self-respect. This guy isn't treating you right. But that's unfair. He's simply saying he wasn't ready. That doesn't mean... Making excuses now. You really are hung up on him. This is too hilarious to watch. Enough. I simply cannot help if he's the cutest thing. I don't want to stop seeing him. At that most, a familiar chime sounded marking a customer's arrival. I turned my head instinctively to see... Periwinkle? OMG, you look so cute today! Why, thank you. I didn't expect to see you here at Jam. Astrel just walked into the back room, still laughing at Periwinkle's expense. I've been coming here to buy your magic. Remember when you did a little demo for everyone at that one party? You totally sold me on it back then. I've done a few. I can't recall, but I'm happy to hear it regardless. So what are you doing here? On a date or on the job? No date today. I ruined my chance at that. Oh man, what? That's such a bummer. Really never thought that here the day you, of all people, couldn't get a date. You date like everyone. It'd be more accurate to say I go on dates with everyone than actually date them. I mean, fair. Aw, same diff. You're like the thirst master. I think I just broke my pen. Oh, no. You're like the thirst master. She's right. It's not as if pastille is my only option if I'm looking for a good date. Anyway, are you going to Chervel's party tonight? No, this is the first time I've heard of it. So he's throwing yet another soiree? Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't know. I suppose I've been more out of the loop on these things than usual. I haven't bothered as many parties since. Well, you should come over. They're good luck, like in terms of romance and love. Or love and romance. I mean, I'm finally dating my best friend thanks to the last one. Ah, Marzipan, wasn't it? You weren't together before that? I knew everyone thought we were. So embarrassing. I guess what matters is that we could finally be totally honest with each other. Although, I'm really happy. Well, congratulations on that. You deserve it. You really deserve that happiness. Yeah, so if you ever need relationship advice, I'm your gal. Oh, but I guess you wouldn't, since you don't actually date anyone. Periwinkle hears Astra snorting with laughter in the back room. How dare she? I came here to be comforted, not ridiculed. You deserve it. I'm not gonna even lie. It's hilarious, man. Dear, when did you say that party started? Oh, like a few hours from now, I think? Sorry, I can never remember the time difference between here and the netherworld. No matter. These things all tend to go all night, and I prefer to be fashionably late. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to return home to freshen up before the soiree. Sure. See you there. I think I heightened her voice at the end. Periwinkle marches home in a huff. Astra thinks I'm lacking in self-respect. I'll show her. I'm going to find someone to spoil me tonight. Netherworld parties happen to be the perfect venue, always filled with cute faces I haven't yet encountered. Plenty of incubi as well. They live to please their partners. It's been a while since I slept with a demon. I'm looking forward to this now. So we're going on the demon world. Definitely need the demon horns. Let's do the demon horns and... while we're in the normal outfit. So we're doing lovely hearts. And so, a few hours later. Hey, first kiss at a spooky soiree. You're not getting me to play this until October. Sorry, guys. Periwinkle arrives at the soiree. Let's see who is available. He spots both Jam and Chervals happily chatting with other guests. Chervals isn't certainly a bad lay, but I couldn't go stealing the host of the party. Periwinkle starts gravitating towards the snack table, still scoping all the various partygoers. Plenty of candidates to choose from. However will I decide? Before he can make up his mind about who to approach, a taller demon slides into the empty space beside him to start a conversation. Lots of cute Rich is at this soiree, huh? Oh, so it's been decided for me. I'm already being spoiled. I didn't come here for the witches. I'm Cardamom. Periwinkle. Periwinkle. So this is gonna sound weird, but do I know you from somewhere? Your dreams, perhaps? Nah, for real. Something about your face is so familiar. I frequent this types of events, so it's possible we cross paths at some point. That's not it. I would have tried hitting on you if we did. Well, you're surely free to do so now. I'll give it a shot with your permission. This one isn't too bad. I appreciate how straightforward he's being. So what are you here for, if not for the witches? And attempted to find someone to spoil me, and the incubi or room would be good for exactly that. That we are. So the rumors are true. I'm in luck then. Would you happen to have any friends that'd be interested in dancing with a cute witch like me? I could ask around. Or a better idea, you could settle for me. I suppose you'll do. That feels like an insult. I present my hand, and Cardamom gives me an exaggerated bow. He pulls me in, albeit a bit clumsily with his gigantic demon hands. Always enjoyable to be swept up in the arms of a larger man. Why am I cringing? My own hand is almost entirely consumed. Unlike with Pastil's, which fits so... Pastil? Am I still comparing everyone to him? I shake it but thought and return to the moment. The pair air twirls around the dance floor, losing themselves to the music. Oh, that's actually cute. After a while, Cardamom suddenly speaks up. Oh, I think I just realized where I know you from. Really now? Yeah, you were in the magazine I work for. I'm an editor. We used to use your photos for an issue a couple years back. What a coincidence. I did used to do some modeling in the past. And in the past, I shall remain. I'm in a different time of work now. Aw, really? That's too bad. I always thought you looked amazing. Appreciate that. Well, it certainly complicates things. I much prefer to have been complete strangers. How unfortunate, just when I was beginning to enjoy myself. I can't believe I ran into you like this. Maybe it's a sign? A sign? Of what, dare I ask? That you should come back to modeling. I could get you in our magazine again if you're interested. I appreciate the offer. But I've moved on. I've put on too much strain on my relationship with fashion and other things. Well, at least take my card in case you change your mind. No, thank you. I don't see that happening. Aw, come on. You feel so great. It feels like a waste of talent. I'm growing tired of this. Thank you for the dance, but I really should be going now. Huh? Sure. This was fun. Maybe we'll meet again sometime. Yeah. I didn't expect to be reminded in my modeling days of all those things. Those excitement was understandable. The way he went about it certainly ruined the mood. Hate to admit it, but I'd gone into this night far too unstable to begin with for such a small thing to get to me. I'm not even here on my own terms, am I? This was all to prove a point. That's certainly not in the spirit of a friendly soiree. It's the best I just returned home and... Periwinkle, wait! He turns his head to find that Cardamom had chased after him, stumbling into the night air. Sorry if I said anything to upset you. Upset me? Perish the thought. It's simply I'm feeling a little off tonight. I realize I may have come here with the wrong reasons. Look, I'm sorry I started talking to you about work. That wasn't why I approached you at all. You came here for a good time. Well, party's definitely the place to find it. Heck, that's what I'm here for, so you're not wrong to come looking for that. He so completely misread the situation. Though it is starting to sound salvageable from here. Anyways, please forget about the magazine stuff. It doesn't matter. We were having fun before that, right? Dancing was nice, yeah. I want to do a little more than just dance with you. Oh ho ho! There it is. Now we're getting somewhere. More than dance. And what could that mean? Well, don't make me spell it out. A kiss, perhaps? Sure. And, whatever else you would like to do. As an incubus, I live to please. Since he's apologized, I may as well. Guess it in a fine start. Cardamom holds up his arms, inviting Periwinkle into a soft embrace. Periwinkle's hands glide chest. You think I would be less flustered by this shit? Because of the fact... fuck, that's my apple pen. I can't have that on the floor. I dropped my pen. Periwinkle's hands glide up his chest and wraps his arm around the demon's neck. We're just inches apart, he pauses. Huh? I expected him to close the gap. Pastille would have kissed me or gone far to accustomed to that, so I automatically... Shit, this was a mistake. My apologies. I do need to get going now. Huh? I shouldn't have led you on. I'm terribly sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry about that. If you don't want to, it's fine. I'm a little closed. Did I do something wrong? No, it's not you. You're very nice. Very firm muscles. Thanks. If it had been any other night, things would have gone very different. Please believe me when I say that. Seriously? Is all this mysterious talk supposed to make me want you less? I'm sure you'll have great luck with the witches inside. You're very charming. Damn. Well, alright. Get home safe, Periwinkle. Hope to see you again on any other night, like you said. Thank you for keeping me entertained. Farewell. I shouldn't have come. What exactly have I proven here tonight? That I'm willing to pursue the first pink-haired boy I come across out of sheer desperation? I wanted to ask her to be wrong for once. To admit I'm hung up on someone, it's just... I don't feel like myself at all. Periwinkle arrives home, lazily slipping out of his shoes and dress. He tosses his hat somewhere and collapses onto the couch. Ugh, I feel more miserable than before. Periwinkle finds himself staring at the front door, half expecting to hear that familiar knock. The state Pastille would find me here if he were to show up tonight. I should get to bed. But he doesn't. Instead, he buries his face in the cushions and falls asleep. Chapter 4. Peach Blossoms. Periwinkle bolts awake to the sound of a knock on his door. Ugh, what time is it? He rises from the couch and treads over to who might be visiting him so early in the morning. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. It took several moments to register the fact that Pastille was on my front doorstep. The knocking comes again, snapping me out of my stupor. One moment, please! Periwinkle gathers the clothes he left on the floor and stuffs them out of sight. Next, he scrambles to the bathroom to check his makeup. Passable, considering the circumstances? Wrapping a blanket around his shoulders in an attempt to look half decent, he finally opens the door. Hi, I took the day off, so Sorry, did I wake you up? Yes, I had a late night. Come in. I'll be ready in just a moment. Pastille is here. But why is he here? A day off? Not that he asked the day off, but that he chose to take it off and then came here? Let's just put this aside for now. I need to get dressed. Periwinkle scurries back to his bedroom to change while Pastille politely waits by the door. So your day off, and you chose to visit me? I'm flattered. Well, it's not to visit. I was hoping to take you on a date. Oh, a date? We usually reserve those for dinner time, haven't we? I wanted to make up for yesterday. So if you didn't have any other plans, I was thinking we could just hang out for a while? Sure, I don't mind, but what exactly is there to make up for, my sweet? You know how I told you not to come back to the shop, even though you only showed up to do me a favor? He has it completely backwards. Periwinkle pokes his head out from the bedroom to look Pastille in the eye. Au contraire, Pastille. I should be the one apologizing you for putting you in such an uncomfortable position. I shouldn't have shown up unannounced, and it wasn't my intention to cause you any actual discomfort. No, I don't think I ever clarified my boundaries in the beginning, so that's not your fault at all. Then it seems everything is fine now? Perhaps I can get to know these boundaries better during our date, then. Why does that sound suggestive when you say that? Periwinkle retreats back to his room with a smile. This boy has caught me off guard. I am almost frustrating that the spiral of guilt and confusion I lost myself in yesterday could be resolved so quickly. That's all it was. I merely had been fixating on my mistake. It had nothing to do with Pastille per se. He just so happened to be the one at the center of it, so of course all my attention was unnecessarily directed towards him. There's no problem then, which means as per usual, I can enjoy our date to the fullest extent. Well, do tell me where we're headed. I need to know if I need to pick something to wear. Oh, you haven't had breakfast yet, have you? Let's get something to eat first. Actually, could you come in here for a moment? Yes? I thought it might be fun to have you choose what outfit I wear. Are you sure? The clean clothes are in that pile, dear. Okay. Pastille begins to sort through the pile of skirts and dresses, taking extra care to fold the ones he sets aside. How about these? He approaches the folding screen and hands the clothes out the side for Periwinkle to take. Oh, these are nice picks, but no underwear? Weren't you already wearing some? So scandalous, Pastille. I had no idea you had it in you. Please, I'll find you a pair. I'm only teasing, my sweet. I love seeing that spray. It makes me laugh. Periwinkle finally walks out fully dressed. Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's adorable. I love that dress. I love the outfit. Ready to go. Pastille looks him up and down cautiously. You're wearing some, right? We're just gonna have to figure out later tonight, won't we? Perry! I think... yeah, it needs something on the head. Let's go with the cat ears. And I need the choker, because let's go with the dark choker. Yeah, because it stands out with everything else. What a lovely day for a date. We walk side by side, Pastille with his hands stuffed in oversized pockets. So cute! He's in the perfect position to be clinged to, but I must refrain. I doubt he'd be comfortable with me hanging all over him in broad daylight. Besides, there's no jump to such overt affections just yet. When we reach the cafe, Pastille orders us some donuts to share. I wonder what else he has planned. He only mentioned hanging out. Who knows what that could entail? Munching away at our breakfast, I studied his face for clues. He's really so cute. I remember the choker. He wore it on our first date as well. And that same barrette he left behind and after one of our sleepovers. Such choice accessories. And now all my staring has embarrassed him. You're too easily flustered, my sweet. Forgive my staring. I was trying to into it while you might... Into it? Like intuition? Well, into it what you might have planned for us after this. Nothing in particular. Wandering around town is enough for me. I see. Loitering does facilitate conversation quite well. As long as we're out and about, we won't end up, Oh, is he saying it? You know. Of course not. I actually like it when we get to talk. I mean, not that we don't when I sleep over, it's just a different time. True. Sorry, now I feel like I'm talking too much. Not at all, my sweet. I have to say, I rather enjoy our chats as well. Even if you can't resist cutting them short once we're behind closed doors. I'm really sorry. He's simply too much fun. But this is no time for my usual teasing. I can't forget what brought us here. This is a perfect opportunity to become more deeply acquainted. I learned all about Castile, so I won't end up crossing the line again. In the interest of defining boundaries, are there any subjects I should avoid bringing up with you? On that note, has there been anything that I've said that's caused you discomfort in the slightest? Please don't hold back. Nothing really ever comes to mind. I mean, I've always felt pretty comfortable around you, so we could probably talk about anything and it'd be okay. Anything? Really? You must have some sensitive topics you'd probably like to avoid. I guess so, but I wouldn't really be worried about talking about them when with you. Actually, you might be one of the most attentive person I've ever met. Maybe that's why I'm not worried at all. I'm glad to hear that. But you certainly piqued my interest and curiosity. What kinds of sensitive topics, if you don't mind me asking? Like, for example, you've never made me feel weird about gender stuff. I'd certainly hope not. That one's a bit sensitive for me as well. See? That's why it feels comfortable to talk about it with you. Well, I'm not very masculine, so I get mistaken for a girl every now and then. Not that it's something I get mad about or anything. I've always dealt with it ever since I was little. I still think it bothers me in particular since, I'm intersex. Right. I want to be recognized as a boy, but I like wearing feminine clothes too. Yes, that's it exactly. I feel the very same, right? I don't want to be limited to presenting only one way, even if I'm fine with boyish clothes too. For me, it's simply about looking beautiful. I dress to fit my ideal. It's not a matter of gender, but aesthetic preference. These are the clothes I feel best in. You look really good in them too. Why, thank you. I must say your sense of style never fails to impress. I'm glad you like it. Pastille sips his drink while Periwinkle continues. When I was young, I didn't have the confidence to dress beautifully. Can you even imagine it? You without confidence? I'm not sure if that's possible. Right? I suppose I was a different person back then. When I grew up, things were much more black and white. You were either a boy or a girl, and you had to dress accordingly. Ah, that sounds harsh. It very much was. I was completely miserable. Perhaps because I come from that sort of environment. I want to be known. I want to look at this glamorous as a boy. Not that it isn't easy for any gender. That this is easy for any gender. I only wish for my efforts to be acknowledged. I think that's just your competitive spirit again. See, you truly understand me. They laugh together. Periwinkle relaxes into his chair and finishes his drink with a big smile on his face. Pastille and I departed from the cafe and make our way down the street. With no destination in mind, the details of our surrounding, things I would have never really paid any mind to, make themselves known. Aromas from bakeries, the flower shop, the passiere, each distinct and enticing. I'm left with a beautiful, peaceful feeling as we peach each of them by. Now there's a fun idea. A scent that transforms over time, giving you a sense of place. But I shouldn't be thinking about work while I'm on a date. I turn my attention back to Pastille. With gender thoroughly discussed, the next personal question would have to be, sexuality. Which kind of partner gets you the most hot and bothered? Shh, you can't just shout those words in the middle of a crowd. Oh, who's even listening? I certainly wasn't shouting. Please don't start talking about that stuff too loudly. People will start giving us weird looks. Shall I whisper in your ear then? That's even worse. Now look who's shouting. Pastille glances around, but despite his outburst, Periwinkle was right. No one had turned their way. Sorry, I guess it's okay. Feel free to stop me if I'm being too macho, yes? There's nothing wrong with being a little too much. I imagined you say so. Returning to the topic at hand, I've been with all sorts of partners. I'd say I can appreciate just about anyone. But I must admit, I prefer witch boys above all others. I would also say witch boys. Oh, care to elaborate, my sweet? Nope, that's all I have to say on the matter. I'll have to tease it out of you later then. We follow along the twisting streets of the shopping district, looking in each windows as we pass them by. This is my favorite part of town, filled with high-end boutiques you can dream of. The mannequins from one of them catch my eye, and I grab Pastille's sleeve to draw his attention. You look good in that, don't you think? Really? I don't know if something that so extravagant would really suit me. Nonsense, you could pull it off. The accents match your eyes. I guess they do. But you look great in that one. Oh, in that one. You're pointing at everything. Yes, well, the alternative would be I'd like to see you in nothing at all. Do you go clothes shopping often? You have such a variety of cute looks. Well, every now and then, but I can't afford the kind of stuff they sell here. It is rather pricey, but the brands are worth it. I really don't know anything about fashion. I just end up picking up whatever stands out to me. As it should be. You're better off not becoming obsessed with these things. It certainly isn't easy on the wallet. I'll leave the brand name stuff to you. Just seeing them is enough for me. Oh, just seeing them, not stripping them off of me. After After our little fashion circuit, we end up near a cafe where we started. I'd certainly worked him up enough to take him home right away, but that would mean cutting our date short, and what a shame that would be. I skip ahead of Pastille and twirl around to face him. There's somewhere I'd like to take you. Huh? Sure. I realize I've seen your workplace, but you haven't seen mine. It's a little apothecary I sell my magic to for distribution. An apothecary? I thought you sold perfumes. Technically, that's all they are. I don't claim they deliver any lasting health benefits. They're more for healing the mind. Anxiety, stress, and other unpleasant things can be lifted away with the right aromas. It's more effective than some others, but those sensitive to such things, it can be quite the difference. Huh. And now I feel like I've bored you with all this uninteresting work chatter. No, it's not this. I was just thinking. It's really admirable that your magic can be used to help people like that. Admirable? Selling candy, I think, makes people happy too. Maybe that's what's fun about it. Not that I'd ever claim our candy is healthy either. If anything, you might get cavities. The witch who owns the apothecary really liked the sample I passed along to her. Perhaps she'll ask to distribute your candies as well. My boss would never agree to that. Anyway, I'd be happy to see it. Lead the way. Very well. Follow me. Astra! I love Astra's color scheme. Her game is just so sweet. When we enter the apothecary, it looks to be completely empty. Astra usually sits in the back room, consumed in her work until she hears the chime of a customer entering. If you ask me, she could really use another helper to liven up the place. But I suppose the hustle and bustle of a busy shop would have its own setbacks. Feel free to look around. I'm going to go and greet the owner. Sure. Periwinkle leans over the counter to peek into the back room. Astra, you have a customer. Oh, Periwinkle. I didn't expect to see you back so soon. I brought Pastille. We're on a date. Okay. She looked at Pastille, who waved when he noticed he's being washed. Astra turns back to Periwinkle. I take it you decided not to heed my advice. What advice? Why bother coming back if you're going to continue to do what you want? Whatever. Is there a reason you're here? I thought I'd drop by to give you a little update. As you can see, everything's fine now. Sure. Very normal for you to suddenly bring one of your dates here. Is it not? I visit you all the time. Yeah, not for stuff like this. Anyway, I wanted you to meet Pastille. Pastille, come over here. Started by suddenly... Hey, you break it, you buy it. Sorry, I can fix it. Pastille sweeps up the pieces of the bottle into a pile aligned with his powdered contents. He holds his hands over the pile, now glowing with magic. The three of them watch as it reassembles perfectly before them. Impressive. He's done it so quickly. There, get his new. Bring it here. Sure, sorry. I can't help but I put Pastille in yet another uncomfortable situation. Damn, I can't even tell it was ever busted up. What kind of magic is your specialty? Not really. I only learned it because I thought it'd come in handy. Huh. Astra continues inspecting the bottle and then takes it back into the back room without saying a word. Huh. Wow, I suppose she was impressed too. Is she mad at me? I can't really tell. It looked like you were spared today. That spell really saved you. I can't believe I did that. I'm not usually this clumsy, I swear. Oh, but wouldn't it be adorable if you were? Pastille the clusts. No, I'm just gonna go wait outside. Don't be too hard on yourself. I promise you made a better impression than you think. Pastille walks out of the apothecary and I lean against the counter, waiting for Astra to reemerge from the back room. But when she does, it's full of a bag of, well, I'm not quite sure. Where'd your boyfriend go? You shouldn't call him that. Might I ask what you're holding? Busted lamp. Been meaning to glue it back together myself until I saw the opportunity to save myself the trouble. How offensive. Take it to a repair shop like everyone else. Nah, waste of money. You keep that boy around. He's useful. You've certainly changed your tune. He's cute. I get a good vibe from him. Anyway, bring him in sometime so I can get this lamp fixed. Got it? He won't be doing that. Seriously, though, where I'm from, we were taught that you can tell a lot about a witch from their magic. And his, very empathetic, sincere, compassionate. Well, you aren't wrong, but how can you judge that thing after witnessing one little spell? Ha! Wouldn't you like to know? I don't need your superstitions. I have a date to get back to. Alright, have fun, Periwinkle. Oh, I very much intend to. Smiling to himself, Periwinkle strides confidently out the door where Pastille is waiting. Hey, do I still need to pay for that bottle? She didn't mention it. Phew, I'm glad I could fix it. I was worried it might be expensive. You never told me why you were so good with magic. As I recall, you said you had been living without it. Yeah, mostly. I won't get into the reasons why, but I got back into studying it recently. Astrologists certainly thought you were talented. I'm very impressed too. Thanks. Now if only I could use magic to stop myself from being a klutz. Oh, are you embracing that nickname now? No, please go back to saying my sweet. If you like that one so much, I suppose I have no choice. I mean, never mind, don't call me anything. Oh, Pastel. We resume our stroll around town. This time it's Pastel who takes the lead, but he seems to have someplace in mind, but hasn't said as much. He merely takes my hand and leads me up a labyrinth of stairs. Once we reach the top, a gust of wind swoops through the trees overhead, showering us in flower petals. Ah, peach blossoms. It's nice, isn't it? I can't help but think you're trying to tell me something right now. Huh? Don't you remember? My aphrodisiac was also peach-scented. I wasn't thinking about that. I just was trying to think about another place we could go, and this one came to mind. It's very lovely, very romantic. Straight out of a shoujo manga, honestly. How did you know I'm weak to such things? You don't have to stay. I mean, we've already walked around so much. It's okay if you want to head back now. Do not to do things. I mean, I'm just gonna stop talking. Pastel. Yes? You've presented me quite the conundrum. If I kiss you now, you'll definitely want to return home with me as soon as possible. But I wasn't done learning all about you. I'm not ready for our date to end. Oh, that is a conundrum. You see, both options are equally appealing. However can I decide? Well, it's still light out. Maybe we can hold back until after dinner. Or I could have you for dinner. On the other hand, you bring up a valid point. Holding back is fun in itself. Do you expect me to recover from what you just said? Do you expect me to recover after what you just said? See, it is quite fun. It is decided then. The date continues. I give Pastel a moment to calm himself. We walk up to the railing and look out at the town. You can see Alator Suites from here. You have a train next to it. My house is somewhere in a row of similarly built homes, completely inconspicuous. Fallen petals litter the bricks at our feet, with every breeze carrying a few more over the railing to land somewhere unknown. After watching them for a while, I turn to Pastel. Tell me about your magic. Okay, what do you want to know? Your specialty, dear. If you're that good at reconstruction, I imagine it must fall under that category? The fuck is that? Not really. I'm actually an astral witch. My! How rare! And how exactly does that entail for you? Well, I mostly use it for fire spells like anyone else. Forgive me. I'm not really well versed in magic theory, but doesn't astral magic have something to do with creation? It does. But that stuff is pretty advanced. I haven't been able to find any books explaining how to use it, which is probably for the best, actually. No one should be allowed to go creating souls spontaneously. Pastel rubs the back of his neck, looking off into the distance. He seems troubled by the subject. I suppose it's because he had been living without magic. It may feel strange to openly discuss it. As an astral witch, though, I wouldn't have guessed. Putting two together, things make perfect sense now. So the Atelier Suites golem was your creation? Is she really that famous? I expect our sales to be a bit better if that was the case. But yeah, don't go telling anyone. I didn't know what I was doing when I made her. What an amazing feat, and yet you sound almost ashamed of it. It's not like I regret it or anything. Gumdrop is really great, but I just feel bad she's stuck in a body with so many limitations. Like she didn't ask to be made that way. I didn't know you could make golems that felt real emotions, so I never even considered any of that. Sorry to go off about it. I've been feeling guilty lately. Kind of a heavy topic. No, thank you for telling me. It's as if I've discovered a new side of you today. I'm grateful to know it. Thanks for listening. I don't get that many chances to talk about things like this, so I'm grateful for it too. Hearing you speak so highly of her, though. I'd love to meet this goal of yours someday. Sure, maybe someday. Pastille is amazing. I've never met anyone who could downplay this talent this much. I could ask 1,000 questions and still only scratch the surface. Now I'm the insatiable one. How the tables have turned. We decided it's time to move on and descend the stairs from whence we came. Still chattering endlessly as we decide where we'll wander to next. Over dinner, Pastille opens up a bit more. We trade anecdotes, listening intently to others' stories no matter how unremarkable the events told within them. I could never tire of it. I was hooked on his every word. As the hours flew by and the day together was quickly approaching its end. But now we had the whole night to look forward to. The sun was on its way down as we emerged back onto the street, the atmosphere different than it had been just a short while ago. Pastille brushes his bangs to his side and asks, "Do you want to head back? It's starting to get late." And we waited so patiently to be able to say that. It's not like you weren't thinking of it too. Let's go through the park. It's a shorter walk. Sure, after you. Periwinkle extends his hand, which Pastille takes without hesitation. Under the cover of dusk, they walk towards the park with fingers gently intertwined. This park, during twilight hours, it is nearly always deserted. Tonight was no exception. We had the entire place to ourselves. This is why I can cling to Pastille all I want. And all on top of that? What are you smiling about? Finally, no one's around. We can talk about all the inappropriate things we want. I knew there was something dangerous about this shortcut. It's okay then, right? No one will overhear your Pardon me, I'm looking up a word.
Lascivious.
Lascivious. No one will overhear your lascivious confessions. Okay, what do you want to know? Oh, I didn't think you'd actually agree. I don't have anything prepared. What? Really? How anticlimactic. Unless you're dying. Unless you're dying to tell me how much you love being domed. I'm not going to say that. Any fetishes then? I have experience of all sorts, you know. This is too much. I need to sit down. Pastille begins his streak to a nearby bench. Are you perhaps into fooling outdoors? That's illegal! Only kidding. Periwinkle follows Pastille to a bench and sits beside him, leaning his head into his shoulders. Your sweatshirt's so warm. Are you upset with me for suggesting such a scandalous idea? No. But if you cling to me too much, I'm worried I might change my mind. I wouldn't want to compromise your morals, but I'd hate to let go. Pastille laughs at that and resigned to his fate. The pair sits comfortably in silence for a while, listening only to the sounds of the fountain before them. Periwinkle can start to feel himself being lulled to sleep by it, and so he tries speaking up again. I don't know what it is about you, Pastille. We've talked all day, and yet I don't feel like it's enough. I didn't expect to be out this late either. It just kind of happened. This is all supposed to be foreplay, wasn't it? Forget me for being so putting it so bluntly. I guess it was. Pastille, we have to get back to my place so I can fuck you. You really are being blunt right now. I think that's the first time I actually had to swear. We have to. It's the entire purpose of foreplay, isn't it? How could you have let it go on this long? We could head back now. Yes. You're gonna have to stand up for us in a moment. But trapped in their comfortable position, Periwinkle is unable to stand in the end. He falls asleep to the sound of the fountain and Pastille's beating heart. There's more. Periwinkle wakes up in his bed the next morning, alone. But still? No response. No evidence of him. None of his clothes laying about. No blankets are out of place. I'm wearing pajamas, though. I can't remember changing into them. In fact, I don't remember coming home at all. Did I fall asleep then? I vaguely remember being carried, but he pauses and suddenly throws the covers off himself and leaves from his bed. He truly isn't here! And yet, he changed my clothes. Was I conscious for that? I fell asleep before we could fuck! I fell asleep before we could fuck! Periwinkle paces around his room, desperately running through the events of the previous night. We were on her way here. We'd stopped to rest, but it was so comfortable that This is unheard of. This is the first time something like this has ever happened. We had such a nice day together. The perfect date. It should have ended with a bang. Normally it would have. We very much wanted it to. So I could have allowed myself to fall asleep like that. No, there's no need for panic. I nearly lost track of time. We'd been walking around all day. Of course I would have been worn out by the end of it. I should have accounted for that. A simple mistake. One that completely nullified all the tension I had so gradually built up. Had I gotten lost in the performance then? The romantic flourish meant only to heighten the intensity of the passion night to come. It's roleplay. Pretend. The only thing genuine about it is that it protects the lust that it masks. For me to have reached a point of satisfaction before the intended finale would mean it was just a legitimate romantic date. Periwinkle stops in his tracks. He turns back towards his bed and crawls under the covers, wrapping himself up in them. Had I ever had one of those before? I mean, I certainly don't expect every date to end in a sexual encounter. Sometimes the partner isn't ready or something comes up. It isn't that sex was, oh no. It's that we never even reached the bedroom. That's never happened. The thoughts sink in. Periwinkle slowly unwraps himself from his blankets and sits up in bed. I'm overreacting. Yes, I'm merely embarrassed that I had been carried home and tucked into bed. To be taken care of like that. Usually I'm the one who takes care of things. Now I just feel ridiculous. Something isn't right here. There has to be an explanation. It's safe to admit that at this point, I am very sensitive to matters that involve Pastille. But when did that begin? They couldn't have just started the other day. Things were relatively normal. Though I was seeing quite often, more so than other partners in the past. This is progressed too far beyond casual. What could have caused this? He thinks for a bit before walking out of his bedroom with purposeful strides. Going immediately to the bookcase, he's tossed a few things aside and pulls down his favorite perfumes. He then carefully extracts the bottle filled with pale pink liquid. You must be the culprit. The aphrodisiac. No, love potion! I wanted to see Pastille's reaction when I called it that. An inconsequential little joke. But it's coming up. There must be something to it. Could the peach blossom of yesterday have further amplified the effects? Man, you're just in love, dude. Yes, it all makes sense now. Whether it be my own magic or some kind of chain reaction to his pastilles, I've somehow unintentionally created a scent that invokes romantic obsession and riches. There's research to be done. After end to these artificially inspired feelings, I'll create an anti-aphrodisiac. Something that'll cancel out its effects. At this point, everything will go back to normal. There's no problem at all. Sir? Sir? Sir! Convinced by his new theory, Periwinkle dresses himself and heads out to find a solution. There's after. Let's go with this. I head directly to the potion supply shop just a few blocks away. It's brimming with reference materials, although I only come to purchase magic containers, the vials to hold my perfume. Navigating their shelves, spell manuals, encyclopedias, I find myself somewhat overwhelmed. But soon the shopkeeper comes to my aid. Attention, afternoon, Periwinkle, and what might you be looking for today? New bottle? A new book? Or perhaps me? I'm ready. It's lovely to see you, but I'm strictly here for business. Playing professional today, I see. Your loss. Few witches have ever come close to my level of flirty energy, but Amoretti is... Amoretti? Amoretti? I'm gonna go with Amoretti. If that's wrong, I apologize. Is one of them. We may have fooled around once at a party once or twice, but who's to say? As much as her company would have been a welcome distractive, I'm afraid of removing my self-inflicted curse takes priority. There is something you can actually help me with. But first, would you happen to know anything about aphrodisiacs? Aphrodisiacs. Magic that sweets the heart, stimulates the libido. They do end up being classified as dark magic because of manipulative aspects, but a few popular spellbooks happen to contain instructions for consensual use of. Is that what you'd be looking for? Yes, assuming those books also contain instructions for canceling the effects. Did something go wrong in the bedroom? You can tell me. Nothing to get embarrassed about. No, it's much more complicated than that. Which spell books did you say I could find this information in? I'd like to look through them if possible. You're lying to me, aren't you? You want to learn these spells to spice up things in the bathroom. Not everything is related to sex, Amoretti. Love then? No, you aren't the type. Come, why won't you tell me? I can help you if you can't give up any details. I want to know if whether or not aphrodisiac-induced feelings of romantic love can be nullified. The details aren't important. So it is love. Why does she insist on wasting my time? A large resulting thud from down the aisle startles both Amoretti and Periwinkle. The pair turns to see standing there. Ugh, if I have to listen to both of you ignoramuses battle on for another second, I'm going to lose it. There is another customer here. How long have they been listening? First of all, stop conflating aphrodisiacs and love potions. They're entirely separate categories. Who sells potion supplies should at least know that much. You sell a whole book about that right here. She gestured to the thick tome she had slammed onto the floor from the beginning at her outburst. So that's the one you were thinking of. You should find anything you need to canceling your love spell right there, Periwinkle. No, you won't. You won't? Because it's not a freaking love spell to begin with. I find it majorly unlikely someone's been able to pull off a spell like that when I've been trying for literally years. Well, thank you. That certainly answers my question. Since you're familiar with these things, I must ask, if not a love spell, could it be a side effect of any other type of magic? A side effect. You think it's so easy it could be tacked on just like that? Placebo effect is more like it, which in this case, all you need to do is stop thinking about it and it'll go away, dumbass. Oh, really? That saves me so much trouble. Thank you for the advice. If the shopkeeper would have done her research. The angry witch shouts fade into placated mumbles as she storms out of the shop. You handled that so well. You should work in retail. So I'm the one in need of a new career change now, after that exchange. Amoretti gives a nervous laugh and steps to return the silver to its proper shelf. After bidding her farewell, Periwinkle exits the store to begin his short walk home. Placebo. Of course it's just placebo. I should have thought of it sooner. There was never any cause for alarm. This is just like before. It has nothing to do with Plasteel. He just happens to be the one my mind is fixating on. It's precisely that temperamental little witch said. If I stop thinking about him, the problem will resolve its own. So I must take a few days to focus on myself. At least until I can find my way out of this odd state I've ended up in. Bitch, you're just in love. You know, naming it that is going to... Operation Stop Thinking About Plasteel. Day 1. Naming it that is only going to make you keep thinking about him. Let's see. The optimal distraction task would be work, of course. Perhaps I could begin with the transforming aura I thought of yesterday. But that idea came during our date. I should be avoiding any of all memories tied to him at the moment. This might prove more difficult than anticipated. No No matter. I'll just warm up with a nice bergamot scent for now. Periwinkle retrieves a few empty vials of his box of his perfume supplies and readies his wand. Instead of the bright green drops he's expecting, what comes out is a familiar pale pink. Peach? This isn't right at all. He seals the bottle and moves on to the next, which, much to his dismay, yields the same result. Okay, magic is tied to emotions. I mustn't get frustrated. I have to focus. Deep breaths. It never helps to force it. Just imagine the desired scent, and he tries a third time. And yet, Peach again! This is a waste of supplies. So much for my attempt at diligence. If I can't conjure any other scents, I'll have to find something else to occupy my time. Housework. I can finally get stuff done around here. Nothing could possibly distract me from finishing them today. They are the distraction. Oh, that's right. I still have my laundry to put away, didn't I? Periwinkle walks into his room to face the pile of clothes which hadn't been folded yet. Whenever I tell myself I'll get to it later, I tend to leave it for days. But the large single pile he has expected wasn't there. Instead, it was split in two, with one half already neatly folded. I don't remember making this much progress. No, Pastille did this, didn't he, when he came to pick me up yesterday? Curses, he's too good. I can't touch this right now. Periwinkle covers the pile of neatly folded clothes with the rest of the unfolded ones in retaliation. There, one less reminder to worry about. Now I'm gonna have to think of something else to do. So far, my attempts at forgetting about Pastille have been completely futile. But that's perfectly fine. No one said it was going to be easy. Ironically, the more you tell yourself not to think of something, the more your mind will be enticed by it. I mustn't let this consume me. I have to find a way to relax. A nice bath should help calm my nerves. Later that evening, I'm feeling so refreshed. I could do just about anything. I should try cooking for myself tonight, though that's a task that will require my full attention. Periwinkle opens the fridge for ideas. A pint of milk, a few cups of yogurt, some eggs, whipped cream. There isn't that much in the way of meals, is there? This is why I never cook. But I can try making an omelet. Breakfast for dinner. Oh, what fun. Periwinkle cheerfully reaches for the eggs and pauses. Actually, can I cook without magic? He turns to face a stone. This burner is the kind you would light with the spell. I'm far too nervous as my magic is going to come out smelling like peaches again. Periwinkle slams the fridge front. Forget cooking! What was I thinking? I'm not cut out to be a chef. Pastille, on the other hand. No. Thinking of him in this delightful domestic context is especially banned. No matter how much I want to eat his cooking right now. He's obviously the type to be good at it. This is depressing. I'm already back to where I started. I'll just order takeout. Periwinkle goes to bed that night utterly incapable of forgetting about Pastille. You're just in love, man. Please. Operation. Seriously, do not think about that boy. Day 2. I've tried working. I've tried doing chores. I've tried to even cook. All miserable failure. That's why I'm taking a drastic measure. Complete escapism. I'm returning to my roots. I'll reread one of my favorite series. If nothing else, it should be a nice source of inspiration. Periwinkle pulls volume 1 of a certain manga from his bookshelf. Fabric of Our Love. How many years has it been? The dresses were always drawn so beautifully in the series. I still think of them from time to time. It's a story about a girl who's fallen for a handsome prince. Standard fare for the types of manga I read. Her mother is a talented seamstress who designs all sort of dazzling gowns for her to wear. When the prince sees her in one, he becomes absolutely smitten with her. First, she's in heaven. This is the prince of her dreams. But she soon wonders if the prince is only attracted to the dresses, the glamour, and not the poor girl underneath. Until the prince reveals... I shouldn't spoil it. The ending is so sweet! After admiring the cover for a while, Periwinkle finally opens the book and begins to read. Just as lovely as I remember. Such delicate line work. You know, this feels like something Ren would read. Hey Ren, if you're actually watching my videos, I love you. You're my best friend. Also, this is absolutely something you would have read. Do not even lie. I wouldn't blame that prince for noting the beautiful dresses before the girl.
They really are so beautiful. Come to think of it, this way this prince is drawn, his short, fluffy hair, his gentle features remind me of... Periwinkle closes the book in a panic. That was dangerous. Can't even risk thinking his name. There's even a chapter lately where he's dressed in servant's clothing. There are too many parallels. Periwinkle rolls across his bed and slides into the book and places it back into the shelf. How come... This isn't fair. How come one of my most beloved series be off limits in my time of need? He scans through the different titles at once before landing on a 12-volume series. I don't remember this one as clearly, but as an all-girl story, it should be safe. Periwinkle pulls out the next book from his shelf and quietly immerses himself in a fictional world. Before I knew it, I finished all reading 12 volumes. The day had flown right by. I couldn't help but keep turning the pages. The story was much more than I remembered. The protagonist was nothing to write home about, but her childhood friend? What a moving character arc. She's very charismatic from the start, a kind of person you think you have it all figured out, but you couldn't be more wrong. Over the course of the series, she gets through so many love interests. Back in the day, I assumed it was because the author couldn't make up her mind. But reading it all at once, it must have been planned from the beginning. All these doomed relationships were merely self-sabotage, a distraction for pursuing her one true love. She never realizing the author's answer to the very end, and what an emotional finale! When she finally confesses, the two girls share their first kiss. The fireworks! Could anything be more romantic? Her tears of happiness, finally being honest with herself, with her best friend. How lovely! The well of loneliness that is her character is portrayed so flawlessly. She's the most real of them all. Ending the story any other way would have been an injustice. She deserves the world. I own this author's follow-up series as well, don't I? Time to get some snacks and start searching for it. I can't resist diving in it all right away. Operation Escape Reality, Day 3. Periwinkle continued to read. And read. And read. Until he heard a knock on his door. Pastille? No, that's not his knock. Oh, wait, I was trying to forget about him. Suppose it means I was successful for a while. I even forgot why I was avoiding eating something to begin with. When he opens the door, Periwinkle is greeted by a small crowd of friends and acquaintances. Periwinkle, get dressed. Himbo witch! Himbo witch! Oh my god. Periwinkle, get dressed. We're hitting the clubs. No, that isn't right. Periwinkle, get dressed. We're hitting the clubs. Wow, the whole cavalry's arrived. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to decline. Tonight isn't gonna work for me. What? But no one's seen you in ages. You haven't abandoned us for a new scene, haven't you? Oh, nothing like that. I've just been a little preoccupied, taking my time for myself. Nothing wrong with a little self-care. But you sure you don't want to enjoy the nightlife? I don't know. I've fallen so behind on my work. Choosing work over getting laid? Now I know something's up with you. I was gonna do a Kronk voice, but I can't do that. So offensive. I have more than going on than just going out on freedom with everyone I meet. Of course. Though I appreciate the invitation, though. Thank you for thinking of me. We just had to make sure you were still alive. The clubs are lonely without you. I have to make my grand return some other time. Have a lovely evening. The group waves goodbye and disappears into the night. It's been a while since I had to turn them down. Periwinkle sighs and leans his back against the door and sighs. I'm definitely not in any state to go clubbing right now. No matter how much it warms my heart to know that I am missed, I won't be making the same mistake as the other night. I can't go recklessly driving myself into comforting arms of another as long as my mind is still hung up on Pastille. But how long will I remain in this state? Shutting myself away, binge reading comics? These were emergency measures. I can't avoid the outside world forever. In any case, it shouldn't be Pastille. And shouldn't Pastille be returning here at some point? From where we left off, I expected him to come knocking as soon as possible. And yet, it's been 3 full days now, hasn't it? How come he probably abstained from my touch? Or is something wrong? I shouldn't be thinking of anything, but now I'm starting to feel annoyed, confused. If he never comes back, I suppose my problem would go away on its own. But I hate the thought of that. The way things are now, I'd only be haunted by what I possibly could have done wrong. What is my plan then? Continuing the ping pong back and forth between these extreme emotional states? He rubs his eyes in exhaustion. I'll worry about this tomorrow. Periwinkle steps back into his room and tucks himself back in with his books. Like an hour later, another knock comes. This time, the pattern is unmistakable. Bastille is here. Well. So he's come after all. Despite my hard work of trying to forget, I've actually been waiting for this moment, haven't I? I don't care what these feelings might mean anymore. I'm tired of fighting them. I just want Bastille. He opens the door, and sure enough, Bastille is the one he finds standing there. Hi! Why, good evening. And what could you have possibly come for at this hour? To, pick up where we left off the other night, maybe? It's about time. Come in. Sorry, I meant to come see you again sooner. I had a few things to sort out before I... Hush now. That's not where we left off at all, was it? Yeah, I guess not. I'm more interested to see how you got me home that night. You see, the last thing I remember was sitting on that bench. I was having a hard time waking you up, so I ended up carrying you. The whole way? By yourself? I mean, having a broom to ride helped a lot. Periwinkle closes in. We rode together then? That was the easiest way, yes. You must have held me so close so I wouldn't fall. I did. Putting your hands all over me, then? I didn't feel you up while you were unconscious. He gives a big kiss. I was only kidding. But you also changed my clothes, because I thought you'd be more comfortable that way. It was an innocent gesture. I can't believe you saw my bare chest. I've already seen it. Kia! Bastille suddenly lifts him by the waist and holds him over his shoulder. Bastille! Well, please handle me more delicately. When they reach the bed, Bastille falls backwards into it, taking Periwinkle with him. I'm just letting you... Don't cut that long silence out. That's just... And they pause there for a moment, laughs fading to short breaths. You forgot to turn the light off. Well, I can't get up now. How can you be so impatient after making me wait for so long? Oh, well. Do people really fool around in the dark? Chapter 6. Longing. There's more. I wake to a rustling sound. My bed is empty again, but when I roll over, Bastille is there, waiting in front of my closet. I sit there, rubbing the sleep from my eyes. He's holding a box. He lifts it onto the... Oh shit, it's already time for that? Sorry. I sit up, rubbing the sleep from my eyes. He's holding a box. As he stood up on top of the shelf, its contents shift, making a clattering noise. Utterly confused to what he's doing, I finally call up to him. Bastille? Sorry, I didn't break anything, I promise. What are you doing in my closet? Huh? You said I could clean up. Huh? Is there anything I won't agree to in my sleep? Sorry, I thought you were awake when I asked. I'll stop. No, it's fine. I didn't wake up to you I didn't expect to wake up to you rifling through my things. That wasn't really my intention. I just felt like organizing stuff. What do people normally do on the morning after? I should have made breakfast. Oh, I want to eat pancakes. Great, I'll make some. Bastille practically bolts from the room to get started on cooking. Oh, Bastille. Looking around the room, he didn't much more than organize my closet. The books I were reading were all tucked back into their proper places on the bookshelves. The clothes that had been strewn across the floor, otherwise left hanging in the ridiculous places, now sat in the hamper waiting to be washed. Even the pile of unfolded laundry I had previously abandoned was now absent, properly folded and placed into proper drawers by Bastille. In a word, I'm in awe. How long had you been after this? And all while we slept? That shouldn't even be possible. I have so much more floor space than I remembered. How did he manage to do that? Periwinkle put some fresh air fresh pair of pajamas and walk out to the kitchen in a daze. Hey, pancakes are ready. Oh? Is it too soon to say I love you? Please enjoy. Periwinkle takes his seat at the front of the table and digs in. They're delicious. Perfectly light and fluffy, the optimal amount of syrup and whipped cream. Every bite is so heavenly I could cry. I've never felt so emotional over food. What has this boy done to me? I was right about him being this culinary type. I didn't think I'd get to try his cooking so soon. This was a surprise attack. How did he even get these here? I have to ask, Pastille, where did you get these strawberries? Oh, I saw you had some jams, so I used a little magic to change its form. Is that okay? Maybe I should have asked first. I just remember you like strawberries, so... Is there any limit to how thoughtful one can be? It's more than okay. This is the best breakfast I've ever had. I'm sure you're exaggerating. They're just pancakes. Careful, my sweet. If you say that, I'm gonna start asking you to cook my every meal. Fine, you got me. They're special gourmet pancakes I can only whip up once in a while. Lucky me. Periwinkle finishes his pancakes while Pastille begins washing the dishes. This may be the most spoiled I've ever felt. Being with Pastille is like getting caught in an endless whirlwind of positive feelings. No wonder I've become obsessed with him. This boy is dangerously kind. After these past few emotional, tumultuous days, how could I possibly turn away from his comfort? Periwinkle rests his elbows on his head tilted in palm as he watches Pastille in his kitchen. Out of curiosity. Earlier before I woke up, what made you ask to start cleaning my room? Oh, I noticed it was getting harder to walk around. I think I stepped on some of your clothes when I carried you there last night. Sorry. That's nothing to apologize for. It was fun. Anyway, I felt a little bad about it. So I figured if I'm going to come back here so often, I might as well help clean. I'm not getting ahead of myself, am I? Sorry, I didn't mean... Not at all! Startled by the surprised outburst, Pastille stops what he's doing. Silly Pastille. You're always welcome here. Well, thank you. Fine. Okay, enough, I'll admit it. I'm stupidly, desperately, absolutely, ridiculously in love with Pastille. There, I said it. Or at least I'm saying it to myself. I'll accept this. Pastille is incredible. Who wouldn't fall for him? I know I would. This is out of character. I would. I don't want anyone else anymore. He's been poisoned by this perfect boy. Problem is what to do about it. Weird question, but would you want to date you? Yes. Clean the rest of the house together? It'll be more fun than it sounds, and if you get bored, we can do something else. Pastille. I just thought if we did it together, you'd get a say in it, and where everything goes so nothing ends up getting lost. Pastille! And it's totally fine if you don't want me to going through your stuff anymore. We really don't have to. Pastille! It's fine. I think it's a lovely idea. Really? Yes, in fact, I'd appreciate your help. One thing or another has always come up when I try to clean my house. I'm simply useful at it. Then I'll take the lead. I wanted to start these boxes by the couch. Pastille already had a plan for everything, it seemed. His energy was contagious. He was right. It would be fun. It was entertaining to just watching him go. To see him dart around the room, so energetically finding the perfect place for every little thing. He truly has a talent for organization. Meanwhile, I mostly play the role of assistant. He would ask for my input every now and then, or instruct me to place something he found somewhere across the room. He made decisions like that so easily. If it were me, I'd be stuck on every one. But he saw everything through effortlessly. It was nothing short of amazing. And so, in a few short hours, the entire house had become neat and tidy. Holy shit! Even small details like these were a little more messy at that point. You know? These weren't in complete order. Wow. Okay, I think I'm satisfied. You? Did you think you deserved to be rewarded for all your hard work? I should have seen that one coming. But no, not right now. Actually, I should get going. You won't stay? I promised Gumdrop I'd be back for the afternoon shift. She'll start to worry if I don't come back soon. I'll save your reward for the next time then. Pastille sweeps on his jacket and shoes. Just before he leaves, he turns back to face Periwinkle. By the way, I was thinking, yes? There are some days my friends travel out of town for alchemy stuff. So if you ever want to drop by while I'm working on those days, I think I'd be okay. But that's the most I can do right now. Sorry. I'll gladly take you up on that. I'd love to keep you company. Great. Okay then. Pastille gives him a quick peck on the cheek before saying goodbye and walking out the door. What was all of that? It was extremely domestic. I can't be imagining things, right? He said it was okay to just come and visit him? That has to mean something, doesn't it? Periwinkle begins pacing around the room. Now, let's not get carried away. This is a delicate situation. Dropping these intense feelings onto him out of nowhere may only serve to scare him off. Neither of us were looking for a committed relationship from the beginning. It was made explicitly clear early on. And yet, he wasn't playing fair. My heart can't handle this. Periwinkle throws himself onto the couch dramatically. There's no way I'll be able to stop thinking about him now. Even being at home has a reminder in and of himself. Everything is nice because of him, and now I'm suffering. This is simply too much. There has to be something for me to safely indulge in these romantic feelings. Things are fine as they are, progressing even. If I just let it run its natural course, maybe we'll end up... Oh, what do I want out of this? To be with him forever? Me? I have one single healthy long-term relationship in my entire life. Love isn't in the cards for someone like me. Ugh, I can't even recognize myself right now. Alright, calm down. I'm overreacting again. Nothing has effectively changed yet. I can't keep fighting myself on this. I'm in love with Pastille, no matter what it entails. That's the reality. He isn't quite ready for me to meet his friends, which means there isn't room for it to advance further on the moment. I have to be patient. At the very least, I hope, accepting all this, my magic returns normal. I need a nap. And so, over the course of the next few weeks, Periwinkle would come by Ataliner Suites to spend time with Pastille. Okay, let's do the bunny headband. I have a favorite. I love these fucking fairy wings. He always stood there so sweetly behind the counter. And then I'd waltz in, pretending to be just another customer, browse the aisles before meandering over to him. Others would stop in then again, but it was ample time in which I had him completely to myself. That's when I'd take my opportunity to chat. This place smells just like you, my sweet. I think it's the other way around. Do I smell like candy or something? Why else would you think I want to eat you up? Please don't say things like that when customers are here. Customers? I don't see anyone. I know, I just mean in general. You don't want to get turned on at work. That's not allowed. I love these two. These two are adorable. Our exchanges are mostly innocent, unlike other partners I've paid visits to in the past. He was very adamant about not fooling around at work. Not that it's ever stopped me from teasing him about it. Periwinkle watches as Pastille, armed down with a rag and a bottle of cleaner, sprays down the counter in front of him. I think I underestimated your love of cleaning. Are you making fun of me? This isn't my job, you know. Oh, should I have paid you when I cleaned my house? I'll send you an invoice. Could I pay you in kisses? That's hard to turn down, actually. It was fun seeing him at work. The only side of him people would ever be aware of. They'll never know about the loves bubbling beneath the surface. His nervous, vulnerable laughter when I've said something he wanted to hear. His gentle touch, the way he can take my hand so casually, yet become a stuttering mess as soon as I lean over him. His sense of humor, his sincerity, his quirks. His genuine desire to always provide the exact perfect thing to make me smile. No, the depths of Pastille are reserved for me alone. Welcome to Atelier Suites. Periwinkle gives a little twirls and winks at Pastille, who's trying his best to stifle his laughter. How is that? Do you think it suits me? Not in the slightest. You're way too elegant for a place like this. I could be cute, though, too, can't I? You are, but you're gonna need more than that on your resume if you want the job. What, you mean I can't get in through nepotism alone? It looks like you already have a successful career in another field. You're overqualified, so I'm gonna have to turn you down. Oh, you're right. Besides, if you were my boss, we'd probably have to stop fucking. Perry! I truly love him. Even the days we talk about nothing at all, I wouldn't give it up for the world. And the days he would open up to me even more so. Sai can be a little frustrating sometimes, but she's my best friend. I still care about her even when she messes up. She's lucky to have you. Yeah, she really is. Anyone else would have given up on her by now. For years, she would just lock herself in her lab, making all this candy, bragging about how cool alchemy is compared to magic. She rarely even talked to anyone else, and when she did, it was to berate them over something. Who treats their own customers like that? Who do you think pays for the roofs over our heads? Sorry, I don't want to give you a bad impression of her. She's gotten much better recently. Sounds complicated. At least your patience is paying off, though, right? Yeah, it seems like it. At one point, it was kind of a coin toss on whether I'd stay or go. A coin toss? How extreme? Not literally. It was more like whether or not she could prove she actually felt empathy. Anyway, it turns out she's not a complete monster. So here I am. Sorry, am I still giving you a bad impression? I'm still giving you a bad impression of her, aren't I? You can still just disregard everything I said. Sai is great. I believe you. She must be. If you put up with her so much from her. Ha, yeah. I treasured every moment I got to spend with Pastille. Even without a label on exactly what our relationship was, I could enjoy myself all the same. In truth, I was only biding my time, but it didn't really feel like that at all. Just being near him was enough. One day, he finally asked it. The question I've been waiting to hear. Do you want to meet my friends? Well, yes, but are you sure? No, but it feels stupid to keep avoiding it. I started worrying it would happen on accident one of these days, and I don't think I could survive that, so we should just go before I change my mind. Right now? Yes, come on. Pastille takes Periwinkle by the hand, and the pair hastily makes their ways to Atelier Suites. Hey! Slightly out of breath, Pastille stops before they reach their destination. Oh, okay. Give me a minute. After we rushed all the way here, don't back down, my sweet. I know, I'm preparing, mentally. I've never done this before. I know it'll be fine. I just take your time. We'll go in when you're ready. Okay, I think I'm the only one getting nervous. I think I'm only getting more nervous standing out here thinking about it. Let's go in. After you. The meeting itself was nothing memorable. Gumdrop was incredibly human for a golem made out of candy. Oh, it's such a baby. I gotta play that game. I have to play that game. I don't know if it'll be for, do I have it written down here? Is it on here? Oh, I do. It's for my birthday. Okay. So I do have syrup in the ultimate sweet for my birthday this month. So guess what? You're gonna see me play that game. I don't know if it's gonna be like the full game or if I'll just do like one long run. The meeting itself was nothing memorable. Gumdrop is incredibly human for a golem made out of candy. Wouldn't she technically be Pastille's child because of this? Because she was made by Pastille? Syrup is what I expected. Curt, but also warm. Before else build them, the interaction itself was anticlimactic. A quick exchange of pleasantries before the candy alchemist called her golem back downstairs. It didn't feel real. Have I acted normal? Have I come across as my usual self? It only just happened, but it already is a blur. Held Pastille's hand in the end. I remember that he had been so nervous. I could practically hear his heart beating out of his chest. I hadn't understood how stressful it would be for him. I feel guilty about... Oh, we're almost at 9. I felt incredibly guilty at having to put him through it, although the idea was his to begin with. He decided to go through with that, for himself or for me. This seemingly unmundane interaction that meant so much more for the both of us. Pastille? Sorry, I'm okay. I feel stupid having made such a big deal of it. Of course it all turned out being fine. It was important to you. We all get worked up over things we care about, don't we? Are you including yourself in that? You seem to always have it put together. Oh, am I hiding it that well? Anyway, we can go. How's he going to react when he discovered what a mess I've been? Bastille walks me home and promises to return later tonight. Things will move forward from there, won't they? Or is it too soon? Maybe it's too much for one day. I don't want to add to his stress. Ugh, why is it so difficult? His perception of me could be completely destroyed, tarnished. But that's a risk worth taking, isn't it? Slurp. That night, Periwinkle laid on the floor in the middle of his living room and waited. I'd expect this night to come eventually, and yet I don't feel any more prepared for it. Periwinkle idly taps his wand to one of the candles on the table. Still peachy. The curse is not yet lifted. Pastille's knock finally comes, and Periwinkle rises to answer. Oh, it's nice in here. Is that your magic? You like it? It's my latest specialty. Oh, what a treat. Have you eaten yet? I can make us a special dinner. Oh, what's the occasion? Celebrating the fact nothing went horribly wrong today. I brought a few things. If I could just borrow your stove. By all means. Once again, I found myself excruciatingly a domestic situation of watching Pastille prepare a meal in my kitchen. There's no way he doesn't realize it, right? The way we've been acting as a couple for a long time now. It's just that neither of us had bothered to address it. Shouldn't it be properly acknowledged? Pastille chats with me as he cooks, but I'm immediately distracted by these thoughts. Perhaps putting a name to it would only cause it to unravel. Currently, there's no expectation. We're free to see whoever else we like. Though it doesn't seem either of us are doing that. Pastille approaches the table where Periwinkle sits, placing a plate in each hand. Ta-da! Pasta's ready. Ooh, bon appetit! Maybe he's already decided we're a couple and I'm just obsessing over formalities. What does it matter so long as the two of us are happy? And I really am happy. His cooking tastes wonderful. Perry, you okay? Yes? You were being so quiet. I started to worry that I messed up our dinner somehow. No, it's delicious. I was just lost in the pasta is all. Doesn't mean a word. He was lost in the sauce. But that pasta did not have any sauce on it. Which, I mean, fair, I don't like pasta with sauce. I need to get out of my own head. Pastille is right in front of me, and I'm so distracted to savor it. Forget my doubts. We're gonna have to see where the night takes us. Periwinkle takes his plate to the sink and starts to wash up. I can take care of that. Nonsense. You just cooked dinner for us. It's my turn. It's your turn to relax, my sweet. Are you sure I can't help? I wouldn't mind at all. You can help by bringing me your plate when you're finished. Okay. Pastille does as he's told, and then wanders back over to the couch. Hey, if you have anyone you want to introduce me to, I'd be happy to meet them. Return the favor sort of thing. I know it can be awkward, though, so if not, that's okay, too. No one comes to mind. Huh? Really? Sure, I know a lot of people, but I couldn't say I'm particularly close with any of them. Except maybe one, but you've already met my business partner. Oh, at the apothecary? Right? Precisely. What's with that look? No, nothing. I just don't know what to say now. You expected someone as charismatic as me to have all sorts of people to introduce you to, huh? I guess so. I'm just surprised. I'm really like being around you, so I expected that to be true about your other friends, too. Well, I think you're the closest I've ever been to being with someone. Literally speaking. They started to laugh together, and then fall into a comfortable silence. With their heads leaned together, Periwinkle nuzzles his face into Pastille's shoulder affectionately. After a few moments, Pastille asks, Do you want to get in bed? For sleep or for pleasure? That's up to you. Periwinkle stands up, then turns to take Pastille's hand. Come now. Come then. He leads them to the bedroom, closing the door behind them. When he does, Pastille speaks up again. You know, I'm still find it hard to believe that there's no one else you're close to. 2 is a reasonable number. You had 2 friends as well, did you not? Syrup and Gumdrop. Fair point, but counting you makes 3. So you have me beat. Perhaps I should try harder to catch up. Periwinkle collapses into bed while Pastille lays beside him. I think I would have preferred it, though. Keeping a healthy distance from others. Really? How come? The alternative has been disastrous in my experience. I'm far too intense. Hey, what do you mean by that? Goodness, my best example is the worst one. In my teenage years, there was a boy I would have done anything for. I wanted his approval so badly, I wanted to be loved. It's funny, I can't even think of what drew me to him. I suppose he was just a vessel to project onto, an idealized boyfriend and the shortcut to happiness. Poor guy, he didn't know what to do with the torrent of feelings I'd been forcing onto him. We were young. A love like that is much too painful, if it can even be called love. It took some practice to separate the emotions out, to be able to indulge in the romantic and sexual energy I craved while protecting my fragile heart. But ever since I figured it out, I've gotten to experience all sorts of love through these casual things. What am I saying? It's perfect for me, the ideal life. I don't know if your heart is as fragile as you think. You don't believe me? Despite what it seems, I don't have the heart of an innocent maiden. I don't know about innocent, but... Pastor leans forward and lays his head on Periwinkle's chest. Look at his head. Look at his face. Sounds pretty strong to me. It's beating harder now. Because you suddenly embraced me. See, this is what I mean by fragile. Aww. This is just soft. Periwinkle struggles out from under him and Paris sits facing each other on the bed. You know, at first I thought the romantic stuff was just a formality for you, but you actually love it, don't you? Are you only realizing it now? Guess not. What are you trying to say, Pastille? That it's okay for me to love you? That I'll be safe? Then hurry up and kiss me. Okay, sorry to keep you waiting. Pastille closes the distance between them. I'm too weak. The words won't come out, and as they kiss, Periwinkle becomes more entangled with his thoughts. It hurts. I want to be even closer. He lets himself fall backward, bringing Pastille down with him. This isn't nearly enough to satisfy me. Just please don't stop. Periwinkle's heart cried out, his jumbled emotions caught in his throat, manifesting in his hands clinging desperately to Pastille, who continued to kiss him and hold him throughout the night. Chapter 7, Shooting Stars. Jesus fucking Christ, bro. The next morning, Periwinkle stands out onto his doorstep with a heavy sigh. If I lay around in bed all day, I'll only feel more miserable. I need to stop avoiding my work. I have to talk to Astrologist. She isn't going to be pleased with me, though. Holding his mantle tightly, he makes his way to the apothecary. When he arrives, Astra is preoccupied with arranging some of her merchandise. She turns abruptly at the unexpected sound of the door's chime. Hey, we're not open yet! Huh? Periwinkle? Good morning, Astra. I haven't seen you all month. I barely recognized you under that hood. It's about to come knock on your damn door if you didn't show up your face here soon. You got a huge lock of orders waiting. I can't take them. My magic is useless. What do you mean useless? This is all I can make. It's been this way for ages. Let's see. Astra unscrews the top and eyes Periwinkle suspiciously before giving it a whiff. Woo, that's powerful. Not bad though. Warms me right up. Could stand to be diluted a little, just to make it less overwhelming. So what's got you stuck on a scent like this? It's Pastille. He's ruined me, and I've returned to the way I was before. So I see. So things got complicated, just like I warned you. I love him so much, I think I might die. Come on, back room, now. Periwinkle nods and obediently follows Astra into her private office. He gallantly takes his surroundings before she suddenly turns to him with a raised finger. Don't touch anything. Astra drags a beanbag chair from the corner and plops it in the middle of the room unceremoniously. Sit. It's dusty. Ugh, you're such a diva. She gives it a good couple smacks, beating the dust into air instead. Now sit. Very well. He complies and Astra spins her office chair around to face him. Alright, Periwinkle, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna brew us some tea, and you're gonna explain everything from the beginning. Explain what? About Pastille. Even the stuff from I already know. Everything from the top. Everything? Skip the bedroom details, obviously. Just walk me through anything important that's happened since you met. I don't want to. Reliving is only gonna make it worse. Astra stands over into the kettle and starts tea. Alright, you lovesick dope. You want to know exactly why your magic's been stuck like that? It's because you don't have an outlet for all those emotions. Except you keep bottling them up, literally. It's all that's coming out of you because it's there inside you. So let it all out. What do you think? I'm going to judge you? No, I don't know. Would you rather spill it all to him instead? I can't. It's too much. Then tell it to me, a neutral third party. Actually, I can't say I'm neutral. I need to find a new supplier if you couldn't fill my orders anymore. Focus on this. I do feel a little more at ease imagining this is all a business matter for you. Then think of it like that. Astra pours their tea and returns to her seat with 2 mugs in hand. With a heavy sigh, Periwinkle finally relents and begins his story. I told her everything I could think of. My first impressions of him, how he continuously subverted my expectations, my mistakes, appearing where I shouldn't have, then going into a desperate spiral as I tried to rid myself of guilt. I was the one to come to me to apologize. Our date that day was wonderful, but also laid bare the feelings I was too afraid to acknowledge, how I latched onto any alternative explanation in order to escape them. The moment I finally could admit it to myself, all the ways he changed my life for the better, how we grew closer and closer while I held those feelings tighter to my chest. I told her how he had finally worked up his courage to introduce me to his friends. How his hands trembled in mine as we walked out the door together. The point of contention, a far-off goal had been decided would have to be met before advancing. Everything, from the state I'm in now, up to the state I am now, useless, paralyzed, and sobbing. Astra listened patiently through all of it. She asked a few questions from time to time, clarifications on the time frame, certain details. Her reaffirming comments offered such comfort, such a relief to this pain I'd confined to my own heart, until finally I had nothing left to say. Astra sits back in her chair and heaves a sigh. So, how are you feeling? There's a certain clarity of laying it all out at once, but I still don't know what I can do to push things forward. Could I even handle the rejection? He won't reject you. What makes you so certain? The boy is madly in love with you. Why else would he devote all that time and energy to making you happy? Because I'm great in bed, obviously. Quick deflate it. Quit deflecting. You know that's not all it is. I don't want to leave my room for any doubt. If I were to confess now and it didn't go well, I'd be destroyed beyond repair. That's why I'm gonna say it. I want it to be a sure thing. Life ain't about sure things. Even so, I'm gonna wait for the opportune moment before exposing my vulnerable heart. At least you got a plan. Astra leans down to pick up Periwinkle's empty mug and holds it in front of him. Try your magic again. Whatever you want, just pour it right into the cup. Periwinkle nervously draws his wand and holds it up to the cup, and closes his eyes and taps. Is it chamomile? It isn't peach? I'm cured! Yeah, dumbass, did you forget this is an apothecary? It is, isn't it? Next time you got a problem with your magic, don't sit around crying about it on your own. Come straight to me. I'll fix you right up. Thank you, I'm truly glad we're friends. I'd be lost without you. Business associates. Don't forget, I got your load of orders for you now that you're back to normal. I'll go home and fill them up right away, but first, may I hug you? Not a chance. It was worth a shot. One day you'll accept my platonic affection. Yeah, get out of my office, Periwinkle. I love Astra. If there was like a completely new, like a third game for Astra, I'd play it, like immediately. I love Astra. Either way, the pair exits the back room, but only make a few steps before Periwinkle turns on his heel. One more thing before I go. What's up? I've been curious to ask. The last time I was here, you told me magic could be interpreted as a judge of someone's character. Alright, when I changed my mind about Pastille. Yes, Precisely. It's rather impressive that you could see through to his true nature despite having only just met. Sir, but he was pretty easy to read. Don't be impressed. Well, what? What does my magic say about me? I've been dying to know. Your magic was always lively and carefree, compassionate too, like Bastille's. How can you possibly read carefree from something from perfume? Hey, I'm just telling you the vibes I've gotten over the years. Your aromas prioritize pleasure, but there's definitely a hint of loneliness in them too. Alright, now I know you're making things up. I've always had someone to keep me company. Just because you've always got someone around doesn't mean you can't be lonely. And I suppose someone like you would know a thing or two about loneliness? Actually, I'm not lonely at all. I prefer to be alone. You, on the other hand, can't stand it for a second. That's why you always run off chasing someone to fill the void. Well, that certainly isn't true. The peach stuff you gave me was pure loneliness. It was crying out like, please, Pastille, never leave me. This isn't fun anymore. Forget I asked. Sorry, couldn't resist. I suppose you're right, though. I haven't been able to tell him in words. I can't keep holding back. He has to know, no matter the outcome. Good luck, okay? I'm sure it'll come out just fine. Yes, it likely will. Thank you again. I'm truly grateful for all that you've done for me. Astra waves him off, and Periwinkle leaves the apothecary with new resolve. I spent the next several days catching up on my work. Magic does come so easily with a clear mind. If only I had swallowed my pride sooner. I completed the batch after batch almost effortlessly, going down a long checklist Astra had given me. I haven't even felt tired by the end of it, as if all this energy had been stored up inside me all along. It was released to return to somewhat normalcy. Thinking of Pastille no longer caused my heart to ache, at least not to put me in a state of total despondence. Instead, those thoughts served as a motivation. The way forward was clear. I would tell him how I felt, and surely things will turn out just fine. This following night, Pastille shows up on Periwinkle's doorstep. Get dressed. I want to take you somewhere. Oh? And where exactly am I being whisked away to? You'll see. Wear comfortable shoes, okay? How mysterious. Very well. I'll be ready momentarily. This is it. The dramatic confession scene is upon us. I have to look my best. For good luck, of course. And the confidence. You know what? I think we're going back to the beginning. Flower crowned and fairy wings. Hand in hand, the pair makes their way to the train station. Had he been planning something while he was sequestered away with my work? Pastille is so full of surprises. How positively delightful. I hope I didn't interrupt any plans you had for the night. Oh, not at all. It was about time I got out of the house again. I've actually had a productive past several days, toiling away over my perfumes. I thought that might be the case since you hadn't dropped by in a while. Did you miss me? Well. Periwinkle hugs Pastille's arm tightly as they continue their walk. I miss you too. When Pastille and I walk off the train, we're greeted by grassy fields and sky full of luminous stars. Just where has he taken me? A trail of lanterns light the lone path forward. Pastille takes the lead. It's a bit of a walk from here, but I promise it'll be worth it. A long walk? Couldn't we take a ride on your broom together? Nah, it'll defeat the purpose. It'll feel more rewarding getting there on foot. Fair enough. Tragic, though. You'd willingly pass on an opportunity for me to cling to you. We can fly on the way back if you want. Pastille offers his hand again, with Periwinkle takes with a smile. Tell me more about your relationship with magic. What do you mean? It was the same when we cleaned my house together. You insist on doing things manually. Not that I minded at all. Seeing you lift many heavy things is a treat in itself. Well, ever since I was young, it was clear I was, ridiculously talented, as they put it. My mom's wanted me to be a traditional witch, They enrolled me in one of the best top schools I can learn from the best. It was an all-girls school, though. Guess I was young enough no one realized I was a boy. I really didn't belong there, on any level. But I kept at it as long as I could, just to keep my parents happy, until I could go out and live on my own. I guess I don't understand why, but I always felt uncomfortable using my magic. It felt like cheating, like this power shouldn't come by so easily. So I thought so too. Guess that's why I latched onto her when we met. She used to really hate magic, which worked out perfectly for me. It was a good excuse to pretend to be a regular human like her. So that's what I did for the past 7 years. 7 years. That's quite a long time. Since you were 19? Damn, man. Yeah, but there was a lot to distract me back then. It took a while to get Atlair Suites up and running. And I did eventually find out. I thought she'd disown me when she did, but instead she told me I shouldn't have hid it, even though I doubt we would have become friends if I told her from the beginning. Quite impossible to please, You have no idea. But ever since she said that, I've been able to start embracing my magic again, on my own terms. I'm beginning to grasp why he values her so highly. Sorry, I keep talking about myself. Don't apologize, I'm the one who asked. Besides, I'm content to listen. Say as much as you like. Thanks. Periwinkle gives Pastille a hand a reassuring squeeze. I love him. I have to find the right moment to tell him that. Should it be now, during this romantic walk? But he's yet to reveal our destination. What do you have in store for me, Pastille? I think I might just be too used to how Sai is. She's usually so preoccupied with her own stuff. So it's nice having someone who actually wants to listen to me. This makes her sound like a horrible friend. She's not. You certainly haven't made a convincing case for her. I know, but that wasn't the point I was trying to make. Oh? I really... Yes? Let me start over. Pastille takes a deep breath before continuing, going back to what we were talking about, with my magic and everything. I still have trouble accepting myself for what I am. I tend to hide things, even when I don't need to. Being with you feels like it's better not to hide? Like I'm just allowed to be? Or more, like, celebrated for being? I don't know, it feels weird to say. You can stop if I'm being too much. It's because I love you, why can't I just say that? Oh, we're here. We are? Oh. When we came over the hill... It's like, is there a possibility? High text box. Sometimes it's just beautiful. When we came over the hill, the vastness of the sky overwhelmed me. But more than that, the small blue flowers that stretched as far as we could see matched so perfectly. Pastille! They're periwinkles. When I looked up where to find some, I found about this place. Apparently it's a famous date spot, so I thought you'd like to see it, so I shouldn't have told you I'm weak to romance, Pastille. A glint catches Periwinkle's eye and he starts to notice. A meteor shower has begun. Oh good, it started just in time. You planned this too? Well, I knew it was supposed to be happening tonight, so... Pastille! Wah! Why? Wah! I had too many moments of me going... Periwinkle takes Pastille to the ground and landing them in a field of flowers. Look at him! I love these two. This is perfect. I don't know what else to say. I'm speechless. I guess I went a little overboard. A little? This is the most romantic thing anyone's ever done to me. He buries his face in Pastille's chest, holding him close. Well, there's actually one more thing I wanted to say. He could feel Pastil's heart pounding. Where do I start? You know how Sai and Gumdrop are really important to me? I always thought that I needed to keep myself available for them, to take care of the store and everything. But in practice, that just never meant I never really took any time for myself. Like, my own needs were something I could just bury, and it would be fine because it's for their sake. I guess that's part of why I go out with random guys in secret. Just for me, totally detached from everything else. I tried having a real relationship once. It never did work. It didn't work out, obviously. I never told Sai about him. But that made me think, since I was right to continue the way I had been. But that made me think I was right to continue the way I had been, since I wasn't willing to let my priorities shift. Periwinkle grips Pastil's coat a little tighter. What are you saying? I guess that with you, I don't mind it as much. He's going to beat me to it at this rate. I can't let that happen. Periwinkle slowly rolled himself on top of Pastil and pinning him down. Pastil, I'm in love with you. What? Since when? I don't know. Maybe this whole time. I only admitted to myself that morning you made me pancakes. That's what it took? Why? How long have you felt this way? Since having to carry you home after spending the day together? I think that's when I first realized it. Why didn't you say something? I've been suffering in silence this whole time. I thought you wanted to keep it casual. We saw each other almost every day. When is that casual? But you never acted any differently, and I was busy sorting out through my own feelings anyway. So was I. But that's no excuse for how long you kept me waiting. I won't forgive you. Why are you smiling like that? It's cute. See, you worked up over something like this. Periwinkle struggles to his feet and begins stomping away. You could have saved me a lot of heartache, you know. Pastil sets up, straightening out his coat and retrieving his hat. Where are you going? Come back. No, I'm too upset. Perry, I was convinced I cursed myself with some kind of love potion. My fake-ass aphrodisiac turned real. What in the world? Because we didn't fuck that day. Fucking was supposed to be the entire point of it. Perry! Everything spiraled out of control since then. I couldn't stop thinking about you. You broke my magic. For weeks and weeks, all I could conjure was that stupid peach blossom scent. Really? Yes, until the other day, which I spent crying in the dusty back of an apothecary telling Astra all about it. After that, everything I spent so long preparing in my heart for you, you have the nurse to try to confess first? I'm sorry. Don't apologize. I heard he said I won't forgive you. What do you want me to do then? I don't know. Fucking kiss me if you love me so much. Pastil approaches gently, raising a hand to Periwinkle's cheek, and does exactly as he's told. I love you. Periwinkle's heart skips a beat. I love you too. I love you too. He hugs Pastil tightly, careful not to knock him over this time. Yes, 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 yes. This is so like this is the this is half a novel. I'm realizing. I read half a novel in 3 hours. It takes everything I've got to keep myself from bursting into tears. I won't ruin my makeup on this perfect date. This beautiful place that Pastil chose just for us. I can't have my memory of those perfect nights be obscured by tears. It looks like the meteor shower's over. Take me home. Are you still mad at me? I'm not mad at you. I've never seen you like this. I don't know how else I should interpret it. I'm overwhelmed, elated, relieved, frustrated. I want to get in bed so you can hold me close all night. I don't think I'll be convinced this is real unless you do that. So, please? That sounds really nice. Okay, if it's to convince you, I guess I have no choice.
so pretty in pink against the starry night sky.
God damn it, I love this.
My heart would sing.
I think
So
I'm gay.
I tell you,
But, I'm gonna let this play.
the world has to move, and with that we have to make do. But I don't want to do anything without you. So now you know what I think. You look so pretty in pink. So now you know, and here we go. My love, my dear, my sweet, you look so pretty in pink.
Look at them. I love those two. Well, I guess I'm opening AO3 after this. I'm joking. Thank you so for reading Starry Flowers, a beautiful memoir detailing my first experience with true love. As a reward for finishing the story, you may now access extra scenes and bonus chapters along with a lovely image gallery. My memoir? Perry, how detailed is this? Don't worry, my sweet. I kindly skipped over all the sex scenes, so you have nothing to be embarrassed about. The stuff leading up to those is still embarrassing. How much did you leave in? Oh, it doesn't matter. This isn't canon. Merely an excuse to speak directly to the reader. I would never reveal such private details about you, such as your fetishes, without your explicit consent. That's enough. End the scene. End the scene! Please enjoy the bonus material. Thank you again. We're gonna look at the bonus material, but any actual like books or like any extra chapters, we are going to keep for the future. Is there any extra? Nope. Okay. Let's look at the art gallery. This is for the first chapter, I believe. Yeah, these are just gorgeous. I love this art style, you know? I love this art style. It's so cute. I love it. These two. I love her, and I love Syrup. I need to watch that. I need to read that. I can't wait for when I get to film that. I was planning on filming multiple videos today, but I don't think I can. CG Gallery 3, and I think these are just like all of the 2, which is all the like smaller images. Well, this I think is just the various outfits and stuff. Stuff like this, yeah. And concept art. Oh, these are the love Astra. We love her. Aww. Oh. Here I go. Here I go. But
You look so pretty.
But I love... There's the extra scenes. No, I won't do bonus chapters yet. But thank you for watching. I'm so glad to have had you guys with me on this journey. I think I paid more attention because I read it out loud. But I want you guys to be hydrated. I don't know how long this video was, but I also hope you guys all have a happy Pride Month. I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Bye bye!